What is going on, everybody? It is the return of the Triple P PrePatch podcast. What's going on, everybody? It's our first.
What's up, guys?
It is our first podcast of 2021. I am stoked for a bunch of reasons because, bitches, I mean, it's 2021, right? We took a long break. Like, we have all been itching and rip roaring ready to go. We were ready to go last week. We had some technical issues, some stuff happened, so we had to postpone. Which made it just even like, it's like, you know when you marinate like a really good steak, right? You just put it in there. You're like, you go and you're gonna cook it and be like, you know, I'm a little bit longer, just a little bit longer, right? So we let the podcast age another week, right? And it just became better and better and better. And we are stoked, right? If you came in, you're here right now. You're listening to brand new intro music. We got some new outro music coming, and on top of that, boys. We're now cross-platform because we're not only
all the platforms.
We're not only are we on Twitch now, but we are live streaming on YouTube, boys. Like, just saying. So in all of the chats, whether you're in my chat over here on YouTube, whether you're in Scruffy's or Bill's chat over on Twitch, !show will bring you to the new and improved multi-rare drop live stream, so you can watch all of our streams and get engaged in all of our chats across all of them. So just super stoked. Super stoked. So I'm happy I'm so happy that we could bring the PrePatch family across multi different platforms. I'm just saying, whenever you guys are ready, come over to the dark side, right? Come over here to the well, I guess technically the dark side is y'all. Oh, okay. Well, all right. So in some of the chats, you can hit !show and get the actual link.
I'm working on it.
Bill's getting. He was too busy eating onions. So, or blooming onions.
You can't mess with them.
So, but as always, guys, super excited to be back. We're super excited to be here, and I could not do this without my crew.
Hold up though. First tangent of the new year. You always hate that like nasty kind of aftertaste you get when you eat like onions, like those blooming onions.
I actually don't, man.
It leaves like a film.
Yeah, it's gross, man.
No, I love it. Whether it's
I don't really get that film, but I love it.
Whether it's onions on pizza, whether it's onions on blooming onions, I don't really care. I love all of it. So I don't know.
Pork chop, try that show again. I
love them all. So. But like I was saying, I can't do this alone. None of us can, right? So obviously, we have got the entire crew here. So just again, we're doing everything new. We're just gonna go crazy. Bill, we're gonna start in that corner, and we're just gonna jump around to another corner. Bill, how was your new year, man? Welcome back. Right? Are you excited for the show?
I am stoked, guys, and it's my energy levels have actually, like, I don't know if I'm just mentally like placeboing myself, but like other than like 1 or 2 days this year, my energy and like mental state has been like through the roof compared to like a lot of what was happening here, at least near the end of last year. I'm feeling like the fog is cleared. I'm ascending.
That's seeing the light at the end of the tunnel.
I mean, that's what the PrePatch podcast will do to you, man. I mean, it's just, that it will
light
just
at the end of the tunnel might actually be a heart attack from the bloomin' onion.
Probably
we'll figure that out.
That's all right. Still gonna make it through the show, one way or another.
But we are extremely happy to have Bill and all of Bill's chat and fans here on the show. And Enigma. How you holding up, man? How you ready for this? I mean, strong back, like ready to carry the team in 2021 for the prep podcast.
I had a couple weeks to play Cyberpunk. I'm thoroughly through with my playthrough and working on the second one, so I'm ready to carry you all to the finish line.
I mean, we lost Enigma for how long? Like. I mean,
it's like a good solid month.
Yeah,
man.
it's
like
3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
It's been a while. So
I would say I was worried, but I know he was in good hands.
Like it was
Judy's hands,
100 plus hours, and I'm working on another 100 plus. We'll see how it goes, but for sure.
Solid.
And then obviously the man with the mane, because I mean, Bill, he's coming for you, bro. Like
I am, bro.
I think he's already overtaking you, man.
I think he's I mean,
I've got
a little bit of length, but you got full head. So.
I got the full head of it, but
I'm rocking that undercut, so I got style points, but you got pure volume.
We'll see.
Scruffy, man, how you doing, dude? How 2021? How's it treating for you? You ready for the show? And I need you to stall because I got to fix something in the link because for whatever reason it's not showing. Great, it's not showing me live.
Fantastic. So, very very excited for 2021 and what it has to hold for us. And I just got to say, I mean, I've been eager to say it, but the boys are back in town, baby.
Hey,
boys are back in town. The DMC's back in town.
That's DMC. We can't do that. That's don't say
Hey,
that.
you can do that over here, all day long. Yeah. On the YouTube side of things, you can say whatever you want. It doesn't matter.
But dude, super stoked. Very excited to be back, and I am hoping everyone else is as well in chat and over here.
I need you guys keep going, man. I need you to stall for like.
The question is, right? The question is like our years were good, right? But we hope that the entire audience had a good year, a good new year, and a good holidays as well. Like, what did you guys do? Did you guys have anything that you got specifically for Christmas that you enjoyed, or whatever holiday you support?
That moon.
Hit us with those resolutions, maybe.
Those resolutions, exactly. Like that's one of the big things about this this podcast that I like is the fact that we've got a dedicated viewer base and a dedicated listener base that tunes into us live every time, without fail. We got most of you guys here. We got our regulars. And we have a live show just for that. The interaction between our chats and the hosts while we're doing the podcast. So if you guys are out there listening to it on YouTube once we've uploaded it, or if you're listening to it on Spotify, which I will I'll pat myself on the back. We are completely up to date. Me and Scruffy have become completely up to date with everything on Spotify.
Yep, ready to fall right YouTube. Back off that too.
Probably, yeah. I mean, it's
I'm gonna try to.
It's one of those things.
Be on it.
And you know what, some people will be like super pessimistic and be like, it's just another 2020 just with a 1 at the end of it, or it's a whole new year but it doesn't actually matter, you're just faking yourself out, it's just going to be as horrible. Fuck that shit. If like the rollover is what you need to get yourself a mental reset, let it happen. Don't be faking yourself out and just assume that what is time other than just like a construct.
You can say that every year,
what you need.
But 2020, I think we all needed that more than ever.
Yeah, and I feel like everybody, at least mentally, go ahead and let yourself have that reset. Yes, it is technically just time moving forward as it always would, but that year cycle, it means something. And let it refresh, give you that mental clarity. Let's make this good, guys.
It's another year that we're all still here.
The year. Exactly.
Yep.
Fixed it.
Nice.
Well, I was about to say, is that a significant amount of stalling for you there?
Yes, I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Awesome job. All right.
Oh, did my bit not work?
No, it's not that. Okay.
Oh, man.
All right. So let me explain what's going on, right? So because we have, it's not we, right? And this is great. This kicks off right into Twitch drama. You know what? Okay, we'll talk about it this way. We'll talk about this, right? So podcast and podcast and podcast, we sit here and okay. I sit here. Well, I didn't bitly it, for Christ's sake. Jesus Christ. I'm on the fly, bro. I'm on the fly.
That's fine. We'll make it work now.
But hold on. I'm gonna have to give you guys new ones every single time because it's something with YouTube Live. Yeah. So anyway, okay. So every time I sit on this show and I talk about Twitch and the bullshit, and we all talk about the drama and the crap that goes on, and this show's not gonna be any different, right? Because there's Twitch drama. But the thing about it is that at a certain point, I got fed up. I've been on this platform for a long time, and I just got fed up, and I said, you know what? Enough's enough. I don't care. I'm making a change, and I got tired of being. I lost my drive and my energy to stream onto Twitch. So because of that, I decided to look at multiple platforms. I've been talking to these guys over and over and decided, I looked at Facebook. I'm really happy I actually didn't make that jump over to Facebook. Thank you to Enigma, and for everybody else and you guys, Bill and Scruff that kind of talked to me about it. But I had long conversations with Enigma about it, and didn't decide to go to Facebook. I'm happy I didn't do that, but I did decide to settle on YouTube, and I'm happy that we're over here. And you know, I'm learning.
It's one of those things that we've talked about in the past. I've never seen Facebook as a competitor, but like YouTube is a solid choice. You know,
it at least has like, yeah, it's not up there like. They've got a lot of pros to their live streaming service. I will give them that, but as far as a competitor to Twitch, YouTube, in my book, as of right now, is your best bet.
Yeah,
I mean,
think you
just
made
the
right
basic
choice
thought of like Facebook. You think Facebook, you don't think gaming, you don't think of like live streaming. That's not the first thing you think of. You think YouTube. I mean, yeah, you're gonna think of, gaming and all this new stuff that's coming around. So
Yeah,
I don't think there's anything wrong with going there.
I mean, I think the biggest thing here, right, and again, this all kind of wraps up into our first topic, which is Twitch, and now will also be YouTube drama because now we're on YouTube as well. But I think being over here, and I've now been over here for a little over a week, and it's different, right? There's some things that I really like, and I think what it really proves is a couple different things. One, a lot, it's not just me, but like one of the things that I am very passionate about is I can't stand, I don't like the fact that we are capped at 1080p. I've been on smaller websites like Hitbox that did 1440p, did 4K, they allowed for unlimited bit rate, whatever else. Now, yes, granted, they're still small, right? They were a lot smaller user base, so they could handle some of that kind of stuff. Obviously, Twitch, with the multitude of people, they're not gonna be able to, it would be a lot harder. But one of the things that just immediately set me off was the fact that I went over here, and I'm not kidding you, I looked up like what the bitrate things are, and it's unlimited. I can stream as much as I want. In fact, YouTube actually tells you, hey, for 1080p, 6K bitrate is actually dog shit. Like that is the bare minimum that you should actually stream at for 1080p. So like it just, to me, it's like, okay, Twitch and YouTube, like I hold the same standards as far as being like where they're at and far as user base. And I'd probably lean on saying that there's probably, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but wouldn't you say there's more YouTube users than there are
for the
Twitch
video
users?
circuit, not for live streaming, but definitely for video. It's got more circulation.
Yeah.
I think they had a statistic at one point that was like people watch like it was something ungodly, like 10 years worth of content on a weekly basis or something like that in video time frame.
Right.
Yeah.
So like over here, I can do 1440, or you're able to do 1440p streams, which is amazing. And transcoding is instant. No, everybody gets transcoding. It doesn't matter where you're at. Doesn't matter whatever. Like everybody gets transcoding.
That was one thing I was super duper happy to see, is that the transcoding, like for videos, goes straight to the live stream. So that, because one of the big things that we were always getting onto you with Twitch was with the way that your stream was set up and
It's
the way
so
that their
random.
transcoding works. It wasn't always the case that people coming in could dumb it down if their internet wasn't able to keep up with it. So some people were coming in having buffering issues and yada yada yada. That's not the case on YouTube, because it automatically, like, it defaults low and then it'll adjust itself upward as the quality of the connection is there, and I like that.
Yeah. I noticed that 'cause when I joined your stream, like it was at like 360. I'm like, oh wait, no, I could totally bump this up.
Yeah. So and going and watching the differences between like videos and like I've obviously pulled my stream up and looked at it. Like there is a massive difference between a 1080p stream, even because I did I did one 1080p stream on YouTube, and I pulled it up in side by side comparison on my big ass TV or whatever else. And I'm telling you right now, like Twitch, it doesn't have like it's just not there. Like it does not compare anywhere close to what YouTube is outputting. And I even I even dropped my bitrate to do fair comparisons to say, okay, cool. What if I bring my bitrate down to 8200 over on YouTube versus over on Twitch? And it was night and day difference. Some of the things I don't like though that's over here is it does not, and this is where you can tell that YouTube is not built for live streaming right now, and it's not something that they are really, I don't think, comfortable with. Like if I want to switch games, right? And I want to change format, like, last night 2 nights ago, I was playing Dead by Daylight, and I wanted to switch over to Scum. 2 nights ago, I was playing Dead by Daylight, and I wanted to switch over to Scum. 2 nights ago, I was playing Dead by Daylight, and I wanted to switch over to Scum. 2 nights ago, I was playing Dead by Daylight, and I wanted to switch over to Scum. 2 nights ago, I was playing Dead by Daylight, and I wanted to switch over to Scum. 2 nights ago, I was playing Dead by Daylight, and I wanted to switch over to Scum. 2 nights ago, I was playing Dead by Daylight, and I wanted to switch over to Scum. 2 nights ago, I was playing Dead by Daylight, and I wanted to switch over to Scum. 2 nights ago, I was playing Dead by Daylight, and I wanted to switch over to Scum. 2 nights ago, I was playing Dead by Daylight, and I wanted to switch over to Scum. 2 to do it properly, that I can see, I fully need to end my stream and bring it back up. You know, and that's kind of a problem, and kind of a hassle, because it doesn't, and I see the benefit of it because it's like, okay, cool. I'm creating a video that's uploading to my page that is in a playlist that I've created, right? But and for someone that like goes in, for instance, Bill, like you don't do this, but like, you know, if let's say you were doing like a run and then all of a sudden you're like, you know what?
I'm definitely going to be doing this like next stream, most likely. If Demon Souls goes off without a hitch, I'm going to be like within the first hour switching off Demon Souls to Bloodborne.
Yeah, but you're still in that same Immortals run. What I'm saying, like you're not doing, you're still in a like that would be fine on a YouTube stream, or whatever else. But like what I'm talking about is, let's say you were doing Rainbow Six and you're like, okay, community game night, we're gonna switch up and now we're doing Dead by Daylight, right?
Right.
The problem is that if you don't go in and put a marker, a video marker, to go back in and trim out each game and set it as its own thing, then what's going to happen is inside that game, you're going to label it as, you can't label it as like Dead by Daylight and Rainbow Six. It's so those kind of things, like it's still built as a video format versus being like a live streaming format. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if
and one of the biggest things that I have an issue with it, and that I've noticed since you've been over there, is that like every time you swap to another game, it doesn't like stay on your channel. It swaps me to a different channel because you've ended your live stream.
You have to,
every live is
it
a
changes your
new
URL, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so-
like a new video every time. pretty much.
until I get to a point where I have 100 subscribers, and I get to a point where I have a custom URL, then at that point it will stay the same. Like, so at that point it will, I will be able to, you know, in the stream,
so
bring it
that's
back
the
up.
factor.
Yes, you have to have your own custom URL.
It will 100% like your stream will stay the same.
Stay the
URL.
same, correct? Because it
So
will not.
If I were to go to do a YouTube stream, because I believe, yeah, I've got the custom URL. That would be something that I could just post that stream link.
That's
and it
from
would stay
everything
permanent.
I have read. That is what the case is that you
I
should.
think
That's pretty
the
cool.
case too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know that's how it works.
I
just with
didn't
the
know that.
channel, but I didn't know anything about the live streams.
Yeah. That's because like Dr. Disrespect has done it before, where he's switched games and stuff like that, and ended his stream and brought it back up as well, and it's let it right back in. So
Okay.
you know.
I assumed it was going to treat it like a video where every time you do switch, it was regardless of whether you were like giving custom privilege or not. But if that's the case, I like that. It's
Yeah.
not as user friendly as Twitch is like off the get, but
No, but and this is where like another thing too that brought me over here, and this goes into like the drama of Twitch, right? Like, guys, I mean, every fucking week, man, it's just like something happens, and this is no different, right? The last couple of weeks have been the same fucking thing with Twitch, right? And I mean, YouTube has this drama, but I think because YouTube has been around for so much longer, they've kind of gone through a lot of this shit.
YouTube did their drama 10 years ago.
Right? Yeah, but
I don't know. There's still
drama.
They're like.
That's when it started.
YouTube did their DMCA drama 10 years
Right.
ago.
Yeah.
They're still having DMCA issues though. Like
That's
100%.
just kind of when it really started though,
Yeah.
and that's when it was huge. But yeah, it's a never-ending kind of thing.
Yeah. So it's but the thing is that DMCA drama. And I don't know. Again, I'm not saying that YouTube.
They still have corporate drama too.
There's still
stuff
corporate.
that the community has decided that it's not worth arguing about most of it, because the biggest issue that they're having right now is they're just like Twitch, very spotty with their ban regulation. They'll ban one person for one thing, and then another person will get away with it for
A lot
months.
of it's more automated though, right?
Well, it's
On
more.
Twitch
It's-
side.
it's-
That's
Yeah.
it's more of an algorithm, and it's more like appealing to that.
Well, also too, it's a lot of it is also monetization. Like that's where a lot of their arguing comes into place. It's just kind of the monetization, because once you get outside of that algorithm, you know, you're fucked, right? Like, I mean, and there's a lot of like trying to, and like YouTube will change its algorithm and not tell anybody. It's just like, this is now different, and like you've fallen out of it, and you don't know why you've fallen out of it or whatever else. But you know,
I don't think YouTube knows its algorithm.
it's all
YouTube's
all
algorithm is supposed to be one of those learning algorithms
Yeah.
that like,
Yeah.
is able to change
YouTube's-
itself.
YouTube's algorithm is literally Skynet, which it's going to take over the world in like another 2 years.
Yeah. So, you know, and there's other things too of being like, you know, YouTube is tied to your Google account, and so like a lot of people in my chat show up their real name, and they're kind of like, "What the fuck?" Now that all can be changed. You can change all of that, like that's easily changeable. But there's those things. But to me, it just seems like looking through YouTube drama, and again, YouTube is older, but looking at like the Twitch shit that's going through, I'm just like, we all can agree that like Twitch. I don't know if they're just trying to fucking watch it burn to the ground. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if they're just like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like,
unpopular opinion, most of the Twitch issues that we have talked about, other than the DMCA issues, I could give two shits less. I just like talking about it because it's fun to talk about. But as far as it directly affecting me and my content and what I'm doing,
yeah, but okay. So
it's honestly not that big of an issue.
I think DMCA is the only really big one, like you said.
I don't know, man. I have a problem. Like, what really the straw that broke my back?
Like, I'm not heartbroken about PogChamp.
I think it's fucking stupid.
It's petty shit. It's just
that's my biggest issue is that it's one of those things where recently it seems like a lot of things have been happening at Twitch where it's like, and I've been very vocal on Twitter about it, very very vocal on Twitter about it, where it's like it's smoke and mirrors. Watch this hand over here while this hand sweeps up the shit that we don't want you to see. It's very stupid the way that they're taking care of things, and I think that they're genuinely doing shit to try and take the eye of the community off of the DMCA issues because they don't know what the fuck to do about it. They still don't know what the fuck to do about it. When in reality, what they need to fucking do about it is just pay the fucking DMCA licensing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and like I said, this is all stuff that YouTube, they had to go through the same growing pains and stuff like that, where they were having videos taken down because of copyright and stuff before they got their DMCA like licensing and got all of that sorted out. Where yes, you can have this music in your videos, it's just you're not going to be able to monetize it.
And correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Facebook pay their DMCA licenses too?
Yeah,
but Facebook's.
I'm just saying, like.
But it's an option, right? It's
owned by Amazon.
Yeah, Twitch could easily go like that and make it happen, and no heartbeat, right? And here's the thing too, like on the YouTube side, as soon as I go in and because some of the music that I thought was non-DMC, like it was copyright free, was actually copyright. And what I love, I can go into my fucking videos or in my live streams, I can hit a button and it says copyright issue. Click on it, it tells me when, where, what song, what, and then on top of that, it goes, oh, hey, I can go in and say, mute just the music, and its system will go in and mute just the music. Like it will pull out the music and only mute that, which is crazy. Like, it's crazy.
It's pretty cool. That the only problem with that system is if, say, you're wanting to do, like, you're trying to do like an hour-long Let's Play or whatnot, or cut your stream content down for that, and you're playing DMCA music the entire time. It's got to do that for each individual song, and that's going to take.
Oh yeah, no, it takes time. It does take time.
It takes every time I've had to remove something, it's been like 10 hours at the fastest for that specific option. If you wanted to just cut that audio altogether, it's like within an hour.
Yeah.
You get it. But if you're wanting it to go and like dissect, 10 hours minimum to like 24 hours. Like sometimes I'll even go on the next.
The best way to do that is just to mute all your audio.
Right. Yeah, that's what Twitch is says. And they're like, we're not going to come up with this with the system that's going to help you. We're just going to say, just mute your audio. Like,
the fact of the matter is, you guys are right on that, and at least there is the option.
And it's not even. I'm not even asking Twitch to fucking say, hey, we're gonna take the music out for you. But what I like about it is that YouTube goes and says, hey, this song is not okay, right? And it's not like they're like, you're banned. They go, hey, this is, and they tell you, like, this is not a copyright strike or anything like that. It's just saying that this is not going to get monetized. This video won't get monetized or whatever else. But they tell me, like, it gives me awareness to go, okay, cool. So that entire those songs that I thought in that playlist were good are not good. I need to go in there and remove them from that playlist or whatever. It's helping me become a better content creator. Whereas Twitch is just going, no, fuck you. I don't care. Like, you know what I mean?
Are there
like
any penalties? Like, are there any live penalties or anything for playing DMCA music while live?
No. They just don't you can't monetize the video. Like, so they won't roll their ads.
You can't monetize your videos anyways right now.
Yeah, I mean, I can't do it or whatever else, but just YouTube itself won't proactively monetize the video.
Right.
You know, and you know, and again, and this I can't really bang Twitch or YouTube on, but like you know, a lot of the fans that have come over have been like, hey, there's no pre-roll ads. Hey, and I know that, I think Billy, I think you were saying like you've not seen that. I actually hit an ad in your stream 2 nights ago or 3 nights ago. I hit an ad in your stream. It was a pre-roll ad when as soon as I loaded in. And in Plague stream I hit an ad mid-roll. So I don't know if
the mid rolls were specifically the ones that I was talking about, because I've got it set up for subs to not get the pre rolls, but sometimes that's fucky as is. But I haven't seen any mid roll ads.
I haven't seen any
for me
mid-roll.
personally.
Plagues, because I know he has them actually set on a timer, but I haven't seen any in other chats or any.
I don't run ads at all during stream manually. So
yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't. Maybe I don't know. But in general, like there are no ads that are played on YouTube. Now again, that you know that I don't know. I can't really fault YouTube or Twitch in this sense of like being like we're not gonna play ads at all, because YouTube. I mean, technically, YouTube does do a mid-roll or a pre-roll ad and an ending ad, and sometimes they'll do, but that's if you're watching the VOD. But it's like easily skipped. I don't know. It just
ad block actually works on YouTube.
Yeah.
So
well, it also shows you kind of what they're focused on, right? YouTube is not focused on live stream content. They give a fuck less about live stream content.
Yeah.
Do I just at you, S1N? Is that how
What's up?
Works? Okay.
On what?
Wall of text. Fuck.
Okay.
Character.
Anyway, but you know, it's I don't know, but the bigger thing too, the straw that broke my back with this, with all of the Twitch drama, was the fact that I've got kids. Okay, I've got a soon to be 13-year-old and 11-year-old kid, and sometimes they will come in on my stream, right? And you'll see them. I try to keep them away off stream so you don't see them, just for privacy reasons and things like that, right? But they will sometimes, you know, come in. Most of the time I keep them off stream because they're fucking, you know, they don't have a shirt on or something like that, and you know, whatever. But like, you know, they'll pop in and say hi. Well, a streamer got banned for 7 days because she stepped away and her toddler came in and said hi to chat, right? And so I think she said hi or something like that, or hi bye, or some, like, it was literally like a 30-second interaction that happened. She got banned for 7 days. Okay. There's another streamer that we're not going to talk about we're not going to say the name, but literally she will not have to go to a gynecologist appointment because she can do it right there on stream. Like, showed all of her stuff off, right? 3-day ban, 3 days. Like, and the excuse was, oh, I thought that it was only that I was recording for my OnlyFans account. I'm sorry. Like, at that point, I'm done. Like, that's the point that I literally had to stand up and go, I'm fucking over it. I can't do this anymore. Like, I can't continue to just sit back and let that be okay, in my opinion, and sit back there and bitch and then go live on the exact same platform. Like, yes, maybe it's petty, maybe I'm being a fucking idiot, but I have a problem with that. And I'm not saying that everybody needs to come over here, right? I'm just saying, like, the reasoning as behind what it is, and that's part of Twitch drama. Like, how in the world is that okay? And it is just, I don't know. It's just mind blowing to me that, like, a child can come in and say something, but because they're you know, she said hi and bye. That's 7 fucking days. But this girl, like, I mean, it's everything. Everything winked, bro. Everything winked. Like, I'm saying, everything winked. Like, it's crazy, but it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not like a slip up. This was not like a slip up. This was like, you know, this wasn't a nip slip. This was no fucking like wardrobe malfunction. It
was legitimately a recording from OnlyFans gone live.
Yeah, I mean, it's porno. That's 100% what it was. I mean, it was legitimately porno. Like,
for all them 13-year-old kids who get to see.
In defense of that whole situation, I can understand the kid. I can understand why the kid being banned, like, got the account banned. That I do get, even if it is like stupid and all that stuff. I understand where Twitch is coming from. They don't want unmonitored children on their platform. It's in their terms of service, even if it was only 30 seconds or whatnot. It's still an issue. I get that. As far as the length of the bans and all that stuff between the two, I think it's comparing apples to oranges. You can compare them, but like
I don't know, man. I have an issue with the fact, the severity of saying I'm going to ban this, and especially in the fact that it also says in their TOS that if you're under the age of 13, you're not allowed to stream. And do you know how many people are under the age of 13 that are streaming on Twitch? Like, but that's okay. Like, you know, it's not.
It's a prove it situation.
Like it's.
Whereas this kid was obviously an underage, unsupervised kid in front of a camera.
Yeah, but all right. I don't know. I guess because I have kids and I'm like, the reality.
Would you walk out of the room, and if your kid came in and sat in the chair and started talking to your chat and stuff, would you, like, if you were to get banned, would you be livid, or would
oh
you
fuck
be
yes,
mad at
I'd
the
be
kid
fucking
for...
No, absolutely not. I would be fucking pissed if I got banned for that. I'd be fucking. I would legitimately shut down my account and be like, I'm never coming back to this platform ever again. Fuck you. Like, especially because of the time frame that it's happened. Like in that time frame, right? Because you could say like, yeah, we can't compare apples to oranges, but the reality of it's a ban's a ban. Like it's a ban, it's a ban, it's a ban, it's a ban. It's a ban, whether it's a break of TOS, it's a ban, right? I'm not like the moment that we start going into like the severity of what is this, what is that, you know, whatever else. No, like a ban is a ban is a ban. And so you're telling me that that is a worse situation than someone, you know, spread eagle on your platform, right? Like legitimately just giving out free clams to everybody. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like that's just not okay. And
I mean, it's happened in the past too, where people have shown, you know, body parts and stuff like that, and actually have not been banned, but had to go forward and ask to be banned because they felt that they deserved it.
Yeah,
right. Like
it's just like Twitch can't make up their mind.
It's one of those things. It's one of those memes that we've continuously had where it's like Twitch's banning system is legitimately. I don't know. I know you don't watch. It's a D20, but I know you don't watch. You don't watch South Park, but there's an episode of South Park where the economy completely crashes and he has to go and take his dad's like Margaritaville machine back, right? Well, the way that they decide on if you actually have the ability to take the margarita machine back is they kill a chicken and then watch it run around on a Jeopardy board until it dies, and that's how they figure out what.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
I can literally see Twitch doing that. Like
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So like,
I think they're both bannable offenses. I think the length and like Twitch has always had an issue with how it doles out its punishment, with there not being like a black and white. If you do this, this is your punishment. This is going to be down the line for everybody that breaks X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? So the length of the bans, you can get up in arms from 3 to 7 days, whatnot, if you want. The fact is, they both got banned. They both got punished in some way or form, whether it's up to your liking or not. I mean,
I think it's up to a lot of people's likings, and it was not very
yeah,
well received.
it's not like I'm a minority here, man.
Yeah,
This is just you know, and even like the doc, like, and again, I'm not, to be 100% honest, the girl that did the 100 permaban, bye, goodbye, like goodbye, like there it's, you know, that's, sorry, peace. Like you need to go. Like that should not be allowed on this platform. Like, you know, you staunchly, you know, how many times did we see, you know, during Twitch cons or whatever else, like safety councils, you know, we talked to deers and whatever else, like that were just like,
is this girl's first offense?
I have to go and look. I don't know. I'd have to go and look at the actual.
There's definitely other live streaming sites for her to be on.
Right.
And I'm not
like,
Yeah, but if it was a legitimate accident, and I'm not saying it was or was not, or if that's just an excuse that they're throwing out for publicity's sake, but if it was a legitimate accident, if it was her first time doing such a thing, like the length of the ban, sure, could have been longer, probably should have been longer, but
yeah, I don't know.
I don't think permaban is the route for any first offense unless it's like blatant hate crime shit. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. Like, here's my thing is that I would have a problem where, because a lot of here's the other side of it too. And I need to go fact check with this specific person, but a lot of these streamers, because she is a Fortnite streamer, a lot of those streamers do not have the 18 plus, you know, thing. Like they don't consider them 18 plus, right? And they don't have that banner checked, which means that anybody under the age of 13 is able to go into that stream, right? And yes, it is the parents' responsibility to also do that. But if I'm like, hey, if I tell my kid, you're not allowed to go into a stream that is under, that's over 18 plus or whatever else, you can only watch these. If that's the case, and then she got exposed, and then they got exposed to that, like, nope, 100%. Like that is a permanent ban. And again, maybe it's because I have kids, like, and I look at it from a different perspective. Like I'm just, and also too, man, like, I don't know about you guys, but I don't give into the defense of like, I didn't know that I wasn't streaming. Like, you have 15,000 people in your chat. You're gonna tell me right now you did not see your chat going off?
Believe it or not, that's the narrative that's going forward. So
That's fucking bullshit.
I did watch the
You don't
video.
have
And
to
I
accept
was
that that's the
looking
narrative.
if there was a chat or anything, and I didn't see it. But like, I gotta assume there's a chat somewhere that's just rolling.
Bro, yeah,
text.
it's
You gotta say you didn't
I
see anything
call
like that.
fucking bullshit. I call bullshit.
Yeah,
Anybody that uses that
like I
excuse,
said,
I call
there's
bullshit.
There's no, you don't have to accept the narrative. Like, it's one way or another. That's what her story was. But you don't have to accept the narrative in any case.
I mean, Twitch accepted it, and us complaining about it's not going to change it one way or the other, unless it makes you
No,
feel
it's
better
all-
about the situation and make you hate her more.
It doesn't make me hate her more. Like,
nobody ever said that we hated her. We hate how Twitch handled it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like I just don't like the fact that Twitch, does that. And I mean, again, same stuff. Like on YouTube, I'm sure I can go find shit on there that would just fucking make me livid. To be like, what the fuck? This is allowed. This is why is this allowed? Right.
Yeah.
But YouTube, they're fucking crazy. Like with when it comes to especially nudity. I know that. Like
I get where you're coming from with this nonchalant attitude, Bill. But like the fact of the matter is, this is not the first time that Twitch has done this. This is not even the 5th, the 12th, the 20th, the 40th time that Twitch has done it.
I don't think these specific cases are what we should be talking about or complaining about. It is just an overall lack of consistency on Twitch's part, but I feel like targeting these specific instances isn't the route to go about it.
well, no, I mean, it's just it's like I said.
And as far as what you're saying, Sin, with the your kids going onto the site and seeing something else, it's a catch-22 with both of these situations. It's monitoring of kids, whether they're sitting in front of your camera by themselves or if they're on a site that might have something that they're not supposed to see. Like, is a site where some of the games do have nudity in them to begin with, or sexual themes. So.
You're 100% right. But if I find my kid on a site that he's not supposed to be on, I can punish him, right? But I can't. But if he's on a site and on a place where he's supposed to be, and in a channel that is deemed appropriate for him to be on, and that stuff is shown, then at that point it's like, okay, cool. Well, that's not allowed. And here, a great for instance is Twitch with Ninja, right? They allowed porn to be streamed on the dude's channel for how many days? You know what I mean? Or for how many hours? You know what I mean? Like, that was not taken. And also too, like, to even go a step further with the way that this all has been handled, and just like at some point I just kind of go like, when is enough for a company to just be like, we have to overhaul this shit because this is insane. A guy got, and I can't remember the streamer's name, but it happened, I think, over break. A dude showed his junk, right? His junk got shown on stream, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was a wardrobe malfunction. If I'm not mistaken, his junk got shown and he got permabanned.
Nah, bullshit. It wasn't a wardrobe malfunction. He whipped it out
Okay,
because he wanted to.
Fine. Maybe he whipped it out because he wanted to. Let's just say that he gave everybody the salty log, right? And wanted to show everybody that emote. Great. He showed it. He got permabanned. So now there's a double standard in the fact that, okay, well, if I'm a girl and I do it and I say I'm only on OnlyFans, does that, but I'm a guy and I do it, like, it, but hold on one sec. Where does this come in, right? Like, where does this shit stop? You know what I mean? I don't know. Like yeah. It's extremely frustrating.
Stop with Twitch.
So there are scary buttholes on the internet. They're gonna they're gonna ruin them all. That's just the way that it works. So I don't know. So aside from that, Twitch and YouTube drama, we will now be covering YouTube drama as well on the show because obviously we're now over here. But moving on to another topic, and we talked about it a little bit, Enigma and Cyberpunk 2077 came out, and it came out right as we were kind of ending and going into our hiatus. And myself, Bill, and Enigma did kind of a let's talk, let's play discussion of Cyberpunk. And it was a great discussion. It was awesome. But you know, Enigma has you've completed the game, correct? Like you're working on your second playthrough. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, what's your? I want to get your kind of your overall feeling, and then I also want to get kind of everyone's take on, you know, because CD Projekt Red is still in hot water, right? And they're in their hot water for like their message for how they're going to handle their roadmap is what they're in hot water for. So.
What are they in hot water for it? Yeah, like what are they in hot water for that for?
Because
I haven't heard that.
Because people are bitching and saying that if you look down at like their whole roadmap for it, it's saying that they're working on new content versus working on like the fixes for the last gen consoles and current gen updates and things like that. Like it's in the back end of 2021 is when they're on their roadmap was talking about cross gen or current. I have to go look it up. It's like it's the generational upgrade is what it was.
That's interesting. Yeah, I hadn't heard that. From the what's the word I'm looking for? I'm having such a hard time with remembering words these days. I'm getting too old, boys. Getting too old. Yep. Their roadmap, like from what I saw on their roadmap, like they have 2 patches, like huge patches coming out in like the next. I think one's coming out in the next couple of weeks, and then one's coming out within like a month or 2 from that one. Like within a month of that one, and then they're working on the DLC, which they already have the DLC complete. So it's not like they're creating new content, and they're just completely, you know, saying fuck you and we're not patching, right? They've already had this slated in the works, which I don't get me started with that in the first place, because that pisses me off to begin with. Because to me, it's really seems like that was cut content that they were like, well, we'll cut this content for a DLC. And then, you know, it'll be drip fed to our player base up until the point that we can get the new content for the new DLC, right? Don't get me wrong, like 100%. I said it from the day that we had issues with the previous, before they released everything, right? That I completely condemn what they did on the last generation, right? Like they shouldn't have released it on last gen.
Nope.
In my eyes, I personally believe that they should have just said, hey, last gen, sorry, it's not fucking working. Y'all are fucked. We're gonna give you back your money. We're gonna you know, return, if you want the returns, we'll return them to you, but it's not coming out on the last generation at this moment, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, we all agreed. Well, myself and I think Bill, I think I can speak for you, but we all kind of agreed to said like whoever let that go deserves to get canned. Like he just they deserve to get, you know, I mean, to just like green light and be like, no, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Like, I don't know. It's not. That's just. Yeah, I don't know. It's like they should have.
To me personally, and I'm sure that you guys are sick and fucking tired of hearing me gush about the game, because I've been doing it for the past month and a half almost. But like, to me, I played it on PC. PC is known for having a very good, you know, a very good actual running the game, a very good time running the game. I didn't have any issues really. I had to like I said, I think by the end of my playthrough, I had like maybe 3 or 4 actual like crash to desktop bugs, and it was annoying. Sure, I was like, fuck, that sucks. I just lost like 20 minutes worth of progress. But it's not like it fucking completely made it so I can play the game, right? Yeah. To me, the game is an extremely good game. Like the storyline is fucking amazing. It's one of the only games thus far within the last 5 or 6 years that I've been so connected to a character. You know, they do an extremely good job with like making their characters believable and making them very likable, right? Like you get connected to it instantly.
Oh yeah.
Like Jackie, I got connected to instantly.
Yeah, I mean that hit the way that they. So, you know, there's obviously things in the game that it like you can tell it got rushed, and like there's things that just like feel a little feel disjointed with it, even, you know, on the PC version. You know, and until I got my 3090 and it ran fucking like crisp and as shit, like I got to really see from a technical perspective how beautiful that game really is, and they put some fucking like effort into making that game just gorgeous, and the game is fucking gorgeous. But like, just the moments where you are supposed to engage with a character, you do feel very instantly connected. I mean, whether it's the barkeep that you're talking to, whether it's a bouncer, whether it's you know someone that's giving you a brain dance, like all of those characters, I mean, it's like just a black hole of just getting sucked into them. And like when something happens to them, you just feel for it. You know what I mean? Like, and it is they do a very good job of the storytelling and narrative in that game.
Yeah, and like I said before, like it's literally this is one of the only games that thus far in the last like easily 6 years that I've been that attached to a character that I like almost put tears in my eyes, you know, when it was gone, you know.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest things that I can say about CD Projekt Red, even going into their work on The Witcher 3 and the Witcher series. Their characters are extremely well fucking written, extremely well written, right? So like 100% when I see like news articles online and shit that are like that's like you know, Cyberpunk, one of the most shallow games in the world, you know, Cyberpunk has some of the most forgettable fucking characters in the world. I'm like, what the fuck did you play? Because
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can think of that they're maybe referring to is like some of the characters that you do those side missions for, and you're doing like your gigs for, you know, the cop that comes over the radio or whatever. Like, yeah, those are from big enough characters, but those aren't supposed to be, you know,
not supposed to be impactful.
Right. I'm not supposed to be tied to this fucking radio in my head or voice in my head that's just pushing me to go do the next side mission. Like, you know, and I always say like. And challenge people like, hey, if you think that that's bad, go play a GTA game. Like, go play a Rockstar game, because 9 times out of 10, those missions don't mean dick, like, or whatever, and whatnot. And 90% of the characters that are fulfilling that world don't have any purpose of being there, and there's nothing. You know what I mean? Like,
well, and I will say like 100%, I agree with people when it comes down to the fact that they complain about the fact that the AI is dumb as shit, because it's dumb as a fucking box of rocks. I was really disappointed with just how stupid some of the AI can be.
Is it Bethesda level? I haven't seen it.
It's close.
It's pretty
Yeah,
bad.
it's
There's
pretty
people
close.
trying to hide behind cover that hasn't been there for the past 2 minutes.
Oh,
yeah, it's pretty rough. Like a 100%, like whatever they did. And I've heard a lot. I've heard a lot of rumors. There was one rumor coming out that like the police AI was a fuck up. They were trying to do something with the police AI a couple days or weeks before the release, and something that they put into the code broke the code, and they couldn't figure out how to fucking fix it. So they were just like, "Fuck it, ship it."
yeah,
You know. And if that's true, 100%, fucking CDPR, you need to get your shit like back in check, because like that's one of the biggest things with CDPR is since their inception, it's always been the game will be ready when it's ready.
yeah. Well,
and this game 100% was like a stain on that reputation.
I can tell you, I guarantee you, CD Projekt Red will never ship a game. They will never commit to a release date and ship a game like this ever again.
I hope not. I sincerely hope not, because if they do this with another game, like their reputation's already fucked.
Yeah. Which and here's what, again, we've said it before, right? But like the Witcher series was not good when it first came out, and was way better when it, you know, released. Now it didn't have nearly as many some of the glaring issues that, you know, this had with like you know, but obviously there was no cop AI. I mean, there was, you had some stuff like that, but it was not as much. But like, you know, it AI in a game, and like Chad is saying, AI in a game is hard. Like it's very hard to get things perfect, right? To make an AI feel smart. Like, I don't know of a single game, and I challenge any of you guys, is there a game that you guys have felt like where it just nailed the AI to a T?
No,
there's always something. Whether it be like the movement or just like the things that it does, there's always something that AI does funky.
Yeah, like I don't think I've ever had a game that I have literally walked away from and been like, fuck man, that AI was intelligent. Like, that was good. You know what I mean? Like,
unless it's maybe like a turn-based game, AI can be smarter in that because it's a bit easier. But like a live-action game, like I don't think
turn-based is where you get the super intelligent AI just by the nature of the game. The best AI I'm coming up with, honestly, was Metal Gear 5's AI. Metal Gear 5's AI had some pretty decent, like, they would flank you and shit like that. They would have different equipment based on what your gameplay tactics were and stuff. So, but that's really as far as it goes. They still weren't like, they would still route stupidly and hide behind.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like no matter what you do, even in those instances where it's like the AI is smart enough that if you're in one position, they're willing to break out of cover and try and flank you, or if you're known for taking in one type of gear set, they try and take another type of gear set in that'll completely go up against yours, right? That's still just an algorithm. Like 100%, their movement is still fucky, right?
Yeah,
Like they're
exactly.
I think I will take that back. You know what? I think they're decent AI in some of the early gear, like the Gears game. I think Gears of War. I remember
Killzone, honestly, too.
there was some really at least intelligent AI to the fact that it would maneuver, flank, it would get behind cover. If a grenade went, it would move away from the grenade, it would dive, it would roll, it would, do different things to, if you were like entrenched in a spot, it's not just going to sit there and wait for you. Like it was pretty decent AI in those games.
That exactly makes me think of Killzone. Killzone 2 had some really good yeah, it had some really good like tactical AI where they would actually actively try to flush you out of cover and
fear
manipulate their positioning to force you directions.
Yep, I think you're right.
See, this is also all combat AI. Like I'm not talking necessarily about combat AI. I'm talking about like the actual AI system dedicated to running every
like the city,
NPC in the city.
Oh yeah, no,
right. Like when they first released the game, they were like, oh, it's every NPC in the city has its own fucking daily schedule, and you can follow this certain NPC. Obviously, this is all just fucking bullshit that they're spewing to try and get people to even more hyped, right? It's a standard tactic, but it's like if you're going to promise something like that, at least give us a modicum of what you're trying to promise.
And I'm seeing in the chat with people would complain if the AI was too smart and would make the game unfun for some people, but the game does have a difficulty selection, correct?
It does, but that's another thing that kind of annoys me about this game is like they're
like a damage threshold. It just
that's another thing that kind of annoys me about this game is like even with the highest difficulty, like once you hit a certain point and once you get a certain amount of cybernetics, everything's easy. Like I'm running my second hard mode playthrough, and I'm just like once I get a decent sniper, it's all easy.
I'm thinking of it from the opposite direction. Like if people were to have too much difficulty with the game, like you can still have super intelligent, like quote unquote super intelligent AI, intelligent for like a gameplay perspective, and if you make the player only take 1 tick of damage out of 100-point health bar per shot, you can make a smart AI and still give the player a fun time with a difficulty selection if that's 100%. The way you want to go about it.
I wish they wouldn't have gone down, and this is kind of a double-edged sword, right? I wish they wouldn't have gone down the bullet spongy type deal, but then again, it's an RPG. What are you going to fucking do, right?
Well, and
there's no way it runs into the same situation as like Division runs into, right? There's no way that you can kind of say that, oh yeah, they've got a shield, right? Because the division is supposed to be very realistic.
Has to like thrive in. But honestly, I'll always probably go back to that. That's where modders are gonna like pick it up and be like, all right, uber realistic headshot, one shot.
Yeah, well, we already have mods.
The third person.
Oh no!
Did
you know what I did see? I don't want to get off topic,
mod.
but I did see a mod for Cyberpunk that turned it into a Borderlands cell shaded theme, and it ran and looked beautiful. I was like, whoa.
Well, actually, I think that was one of the things that it said in. I think in that thread that it was like this was the route they should have taken with like the look and feel of it, which I have.
Think so.
I have differences opinions on that.
I think it looks cool, but I don't think it would have worked for like.
I think that the cell shaded of the game. Yeah, I think that the cell shaded type aspect has been overdone a little bit. We've seen it with Borderlands 3. It wasn't as well sought after as the previous two, and I think that's just the biggest thing is we've seen a lot of cell shaded games that have come out, and I think it's they're kind of turning into like survival games. It's like you get a new one every month, right?
Yeah.
I don't
appealing art style,
it
is very easy for them. Like you're saying, it's easy for them to all get kind of samey because just by the nature of the look, it's gonna kind of pull every game that uses that art style together.
Well, it's one of those art styles I think is cool for like the first couple hours of playing them. Like I'm kind of getting tired of this. Like I'd rather the realistic more.
I personally would not have enjoyed the game as much if it was a kind of Borderlands style art style. I think that the biggest thing that I enjoyed about it was the fact that it was not necessarily ultra realistic, but it had that kind of neon vibe to it that I don't think you could have gotten with a cel shaded game. You know,
I don't think the game like overall thematically would have worked in a cell shaded, because
Yeah.
when you think
I don't think
cell
either.
shaded,
Cyberpunk, you
go
can't.
into a more like lighthearted, cartoony style,
yeah,
like,
100%.
tone. I think it would have ruined the tone.
That would,
completely.
yeah, that would have dropped the immersion.
Yeah, I mean, I think Cyberpunk is such a it's such I think in a weird spot, right? Because I look at it and I think that in one hand it deserves the shit that it's getting, right? I think CD Projekt Red is, and okay, I'm just trying to think through these thoughts, like, and unpack it properly so I can speak it properly. But like, I feel like there's two things, right? There's Cyberpunk the game itself, and I look at that as its own entity, and then I look at CD Projekt Red, right? And I think CD Projekt Red deserves to get a lot of shit for a lot of stuff that they did, right? Where they overpromised.
Execs. I think they're execs.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're devs.
That's one thing.
That's
also one thing that I'm extremely pissed off about, is the fact that there's so many people that are angry at the devs for what happened to Cyberpunk. The devs had no fucking choice on this. This was entirely down to higher ups, management, catering to
piss poor marketing, piss poor decision making.
Team. It was the decisions that were made, the things that were put out, the false, advertisement. I think all of it together really just was not a good move for them. But it wasn't the devs.
Right,
it wasn't just their fault.
So I think you have CD Projekt Red as a, the execs and things like that. Then you have Cyberpunk, right? And I think Cyberpunk, at its core of what that game is, and if you take away all the shit that was promised by the execs, and you look at Cyberpunk as a game itself, it's good. It's a good game. Yes, there are dumb things, right? There's dumb AI or whatever it is, but like, it, for what the game is, I think that it's a good game, and I see so much potential in what it's going to become. And what I feel, well, okay, I can't say I know. I hope that CD Projekt Red really does right by the devs with this game. You know what I mean? Because I think that the devs really laid out this ambitious thing that they wanted to do. And given the time, I think given probably another year, 6 months to a year, right? I think this game probably would have been everything that they said. Like, I think that they could have nailed the AI to a T. I think that they could have done the world that they were looking for. I think that they could have done, like, the UI, in my opinion, kind of blows, like, when it comes to, like, inventory management and things like that. Like, there's a lot of stuff in there that's just like, you definitely can tell that they were fucking rushed, right? And it's like, I think that if they would have had another year, they would have produced this game, that it would have been.
What's sad too is I think they could have gotten another year if they just didn't put out so many just like close dates to all of their pushbacks.
That was the issue. They should never have hard dated it.
They should know that last delay. They should have never hard dated it. They should have just said,
they should have never hard dated the last like 3.
Yeah, they should have just been like, sorry guys, I know it's gonna suck, but we don't know if we can push this out on time. So unfortunately, you guys are gonna be pissed off at us, but.
And it's still not
our stance has always been the game will be done when the game is done.
And I think it's even still. It's not even back on PlayStation stuff yet, right? Like, I don't think you can. I think so. I think
it's not in a spot where they should.
I'm not even really sure if it will.
Well, like, I'm talking about even on the PS5 marketplace. Like, I don't think
I'm not even sure it will, honestly. From everything that I've heard, Sony's pissed at him for some reason, and I don't know why.
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I also blame Microsoft, and
forcing them into refunds.
I also blame.
That's probably why Sony hates giving refunds.
No, 100%.
I also blame Microsoft, and I blame Sony for this as well, because I think that they applied some pressure. I think there's some blame to be put there. Not saying that it's a huge amount of blame, but there is some blame, right? Like, they put pressure down to go, hey, we need this game. We want this game out
to be a console
launch, right? And what I think really pisses me off about it is that they push and gas that up, right? They fuel these execs to make these decisions, to do this. Someone signed on the dotted line, but then with Halo, when they're like, oh fuck, this is gonna come out, fucked, we gotta stop, and they're like, we're gonna back it off, like, we're just gonna back Halo off, right? Like, so I mean, you have another company that you have said, like, look, you gotta put it out, right? And I'm sure that the back end conversations were probably something
Throw
like
the
that.
golden goose
Like,
to the grinder.
you know what I mean?
That's Microsoft's thing, because Microsoft did the exact same thing with No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky, the reason it came out in the condition that it was in was specifically because of Microsoft pushing it for was it 360 launch?
No Man's Sky was a Sony.
No Man's Sky was on Sony.
Yeah, that was a Sony thing, buddy. That was not a Microsoft.
One of them, one of those studios, it was specifically that was the issue.
Yeah, it was.
So Sony
it makes
pushed
more
it.
sense coming from Sony.
Yeah, so Sony pushed it because it was going to be like their flagship.
Yeah,
essentially.
Yep. So, I don't know. I mean, it just. I hope that CD Projekt Red really does this game right and stays with it. If they don't, then at least open it up for modders to do what we need to, like what they need to do. You know what I mean? Like
to close. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just saying they will, and they already have opened it up to modders.
To close my statements about it, right? Like if anything, if they whatever they do to it, if they can just iron it out so that it works on all consoles, like they originally promised it for, right? I think it's a good enough game as is if they iron out all the bugs and make it work on all the consoles, right? A lot of people are pissed off and it's exactly like I said when it first released. I think the reason why a lot of people are pissed off is because they have expectations for what the game was in their head,
right?
And they didn't get what they were expecting in their head. Granted, there were some promises broken. I agree with you 100%, right? There was certain things that were removed from the game that probably shouldn't have been removed from the game, that were removed due to time constraints, viability of it actually working in the game, et cetera, et cetera. But I think that if they can just iron out a lot of the issues and just give us a smooth experience for what the game that we currently have, it would be worth the money.
I mean, people are always going to have expectations for how games on launch are going to be.
Yeah, but other games weren't as hyped as this game. That's the problem.
Yeah. And I just think it always comes back to like what was promised and what was like talked about with this game, with the all the live wire things and everything.
Well,
you guys got me fired up. I had to stand up in my new standing desk.
Boy,
how is that, by the way?
I love it, man. I fucking love it, man.
That's good.
Hell yeah.
You know what it reminds me of? This reminds me of not his standing desk, but the Cyberpunk thing reminds me of Atlas, right? And this is, and again, it's very much the fault of CD Projekt Red because they put so much shit out there for this. Like if they just would have fucking toned it back, it wouldn't have been as bad as what it is. Now, would that have forced CD Projekt Red to make a better, game down the road? I don't know, right? I feel like they would have. I don't think the game would have launched. I don't think the game would have launched when it went.
Holding back information too. There's a sense of like the anonymous like information or whatever not being put out. Like you don't know what's gonna come, so it builds hype that way too. I don't think there was any reason for them to put all this like info and like leaks out.
Yeah, it's the thing about it is that Atlas, in my mind, did a worse thing than what CD Projekt Red did, minus the current gen or last gen consoles. You take that out of the mix, but for the game that we got, I think that the Atlas crew did a shit ton worse than what CD Projekt Red has, and they didn't get near crap for it, right? Smaller dev, smaller company, I understand, but
hyped for.
Right. I also think Atlas was in a lot more stable of a condition when it came out.
Fuck no, it wasn't.
No.
Oh my god, it was so bad.
For 2 weeks, people couldn't get on servers.
It was so bad.
They actually had to delay the release of it.
For some reason, I thought it was better because it had like a lot of the same assets and servers that.
The arcade.
Do you guys remember the fucking videos they showed of like people flying planes and fucking like climbing mountains and shit,
the
like
boats and like the huge ass megalodons flying and whatnot?
Out of here!
It was terrible when it first released. I remember vividly. I had a buddy that wanted me to play it with him. I actually think you wanted me to play it too. You bought it.
Yeah,
I had a buddy that wanted me to play with him, and I was like, "Fuck no, dude! I ain't touching that shit with a 60-foot pole, bro. No, thank you."
Dude, I wish I would have never purchased that game. Like that is.
I will say
at least Ark is still good.
Yeah, I will say that it's come along. I will say that it has come along. It's still not as amazing as Ark is, but it's a decent pirate survival game these days.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather play
how you take that or not. It's not a No Man's Sky, right? Like they didn't fucking completely turn it around.
Yeah.
It's passable at this point.
Yeah. So I think wrapping up the CD Projekt, the Cyberpunk stuff, them being in hot water for like the stuff that's with their roadmap, fucking go away, get off of it. Jesus Christ, they're trying to fix the game. Fucking leave them alone.
That's what I don't understand.
Quit trying to cancel everybody.
They do have 2 patches for it, so I don't understand what they want. Do they want more patches?
They want them to make the game. They want them to make the game. So what they want is the feeling that I am seeing is that they want the last console generations fixed now before they push any kind of content out or anything like that or whatever else, which I understand.
I mean, that makes sense. I think obviously they have multiple teams working on different aspects of the game.
They could always do a selective push, like, hey, we're gonna have part of our dev team working on these stuff for the PC ports, but we're gonna actively be pushing the console patches to fix.
But here's what I'll say. And I think I may take Enigma's words right out of his mouth. Welcome to the fucking world of getting a port of a game, console players.
Yeah.
Like
I'm like, so right. You guys are pissed off about you got a fucking bad port on console. Whoop de fucking do. Welcome to PC gaming.
Like, yeah, like welcome to the world of PC of games. Like this is just what we've had to go through. So I don't know.
It makes me think of Nier Automata. You guys remember when that first came to PC and how like unplayable that thing was?
It makes me think of any Capcom fucking release over to fucking
and you want to know what console players say every time PC players bitch about it? Oh, you should have got a fucking console, you fucking PC nerd.
Yep.
Yeah. Exactly.
Let me tell you something. The moment I saw Cyberpunk,
fucking words, consoles.
The moment I saw the Cyberpunk, I said to myself, I was like, "There's no fucking way this should ever be played on a console. Like it needed to be played. You should have had a PC,
well, especially last gen. Like 100% last gen. Next gen, sure, 100%. But last gen, there was no way it was gonna fucking.
Yeah, I don't see honestly why they came out with last gen.
Yeah.
But
so.
Promises.
Yep.
Something else that happened over the holidays was our very own PlayStation expert got his hands on a PS5. Mr. Billy Boo got.
Yes, and boy, what a wild ride that was. Sitting in a fucking Taco Bell hoodie, no pants on, at my computer at 3:30 in the morning, waiting for Target to drop PS5s in my town.
That's dedication, boys.
If you would have had pants on, do you think that you still would have gotten it, or no? Is that
no? It would have slowed me down running through the house. So I was in voice chat with a few of the people in the community. One of the people in the community, Miss Bunn, and I was talking to her. I was like, you just wait. As soon as this goes live, you're going to hear me. And as soon as I was like saying that sentence, the live button went up. And at that point, I realized I didn't have my wallet with me. I had all the information put into like the Target system, but it needed to verify my CVV. And I didn't have that info. Like I didn't know it on.
You don't just know it?
No, I was running through the house trying to find my wallet.
I could just imagine Bill over there running through his house like, "Pay, get the checkbook."
No, that's exactly what I did. I slung her bedroom door open, like it dropped. Start trying to get it. She's like, "What?"
Oh, man. I bet your dogs are riled up too, running after you and stuff.
The PS5s are coming. The PS5s are coming.
But I did end up getting it. It took about 10 minutes of me spamming. So the checkout button, like you would hit checkout, it would load roll, and then it would be like product is not available. But whenever you go onto the site, it was saying products were available. So about 10 minutes of me going back and forth on phone and PC clicking, it finally went through after. So I could have had 2. Not that I would have wanted to, but the first time the payment went through, I get a text from my motherfucking bank saying, "Hey, we noticed a $500 and some transaction on your account. Was this you?" I was like, "Yes, fucking authorize the payment."
Okay. Okay.
Imagine getting cock blocked by your bank.
So how is it? Like, so you got it. How is it?
It's good. It's really,
it's just
really
like
good.
It's okay.
Fine. So
it's fine.
I've only played 2 games on it. One of them is Demon's Souls. The other is Astro's Playroom.
Game of the year.
I do not have Bug Snacks.
Oh
yet, no.
man, you're missing out.
Wiener hands.
Dude, you guys know we can play Bug Snacks, right? Like, on PC.
Don't matter.
Okay.
It's not
but
hype on
it's
PC.
meant to be played on the PlayStation. It has so much with the
Haptic
console.
feedback.
Yeah, I was gonna say that
have
You
haptic
to
can
play it.
definitely
the
feel
winger
them
hands.
wieners in your fingertips.
You have to feel them.
Jesus Christ.
But Astro's Playroom, like, so for any of you that don't know, when you get a PS5, it is a game that is preloaded onto your console, and it basically functions as the tech demo for the new controller and for the system itself.
The controller demo. Yeah.
And it is ridiculously good. It is a very, very enjoyable platformer. Not super long. You could probably go through it all within like an hour, hour and a half. If you like, it's got 4 levels. It takes you through different parts of the PC. Like you go into the GPU, you go into the fans and cooling, you go into the SSD drive.
Did you
Wait,
see
what?
what the engine is?
You go into your PlayStation 5 and you're like, oh, that's kind of.
So the lobby area, like if you look up, you can see out the top of like the funnel thing.
Huh.
And each level is a different segment of the console. Like the GPU is the GPU jungle. You going through, it's like Tomb Raider style shit. There's a ton of PlayStation references throughout. Like I saw Silent Hill references, Bloodborne references, Death Stranding, Metal Gear, like a ton of references to a bunch of the older like classic franchises. And yeah, you go through each part. GPU jungle, memory meadow, fans were like cooling beach or something like that. And then SSD highway was like a cyberpunky style like speedway area. It's just
cool.
really, really fun. Controller right here, got it on hand.
Oh.
Is easily the most innovative part of the console.
I've heard the controller's really comfortable.
The controller, it feels good, and the amount of detail that they have with the controllers, depending on situations and what the game's wanting you to do, it actually like varies the amount of pressure you have to apply to the triggers for it. So if it's like, say you're going into somewhere and you have to lift a heavy ass door and it's wanting you to like hold or spam one of the trigger buttons to open that door, it has more tension depending on how heavy that door is. The vibrations can actually, like, you can feel the simulations of like footsteps, or if you're blocking with a shield, it actually hits your shield arm, and like both the noise and the feel from the vibration makes it feel like the shield is right in front of you, just getting like you were just deflecting an attack off of it.
What would be cool is if they implement it, and again, it's because that's not system based. That's actually the developer has to develop for that, correct?
Yes. So it is, the haptic feedback system itself is specific to the, at least for right now, I think Microsoft and Xbox, they're actually in the works of developing controllers that have a similar like feedback system, but whether that comes out is neither here nor there. But as far as, yes, it is going to be devs needing to program with that feature specifically in mind. So the console's not naturally going to adapt a game. Like if I were to put in Bloodborne right now, I'm not going to get any haptic feedback.
Right. Well,
it's going to be Bloodborne.
I think for Sony specific games you'll get it. I don't think that you're going to get it a lot for a lot of other games.
I think it would be a lost cause for devs to at least not put like minimal effort into it. Maybe not go into as much detail with the triggers and stuff, or the.
You gotta remember as well that most of PlayStation's like retinue of games are like personally selected by Sony. So it's like one of those things where it's like,
hey, are you going to go through with our system? If not, we're not gonna.
Yeah, they're gonna do it regardless.
Who's
Sony and the people that are crafting the games for Sony.
That's what I'm saying. Sony exclusives will do it.
Pressure them to use the haptic feedback.
Right.
System.
But I'm saying, like, for instance, you're not gonna like. All right, like IO Interactive is coming out with a new Hitman game, right? One of the cool things I think would be fucking amazing if they do it, and I hope that they do, but I don't think that they will because
they are. I know exactly what you're saying. They are like a garrote wire. You're gonna feel that tension on your triggers.
Okay, well, good. Then they need to. I don't know if I would be very shocked to see if a bunch of developers would actually utilize, because there are some cool things like that. For instance, like Call of Duty or a shooter, like there should be an amount of tension, like to pull. I don't know if how many of you guys have ever fired an actual firearm or whatever else, but like like certain firearms have a more they take more resistance to pull. Like you have to actually fucking physically pull them. Like shooting a 50 cal deagle versus shooting a 9mm or a 22. Like
I
It
feel
would
like
be a cool
shooter-
option in shooters, but I don't think it will ever be a thing that's going to be set in shooters.
right, but what I'm saying
I
is
think if there's
it's
an
a
option for it, people might take that.
it's a
but
sad
I
it's a
don't
sad
think-
thing for them not to make
you
that
can
a main.
disable haptic feedback as well. That is an option.
Yeah, but-
like you don't
Okay,
have
yeah.
to play through with all that.
What I'm saying though is like that is something where I feel it I almost think that like they push down the realm of saying, hey, this is something that is going to become a norm, right? Like obviously I know like you can take rumbles out and whatever else, but there was actually a time where you couldn't turn rumble off. Like rumble was always on, regardless whether you liked it or not, unless you opened your controller up and like I did and took out the fucking rumbling rumbles out of it, it wouldn't work. But like I want them to go down that route of being like, no, this is a normal thing. Like you guys have to get used to it because it is a cool function. Like that is a very, very cool thing. Because in a console,
It is
what
amazing.
you can't-
I think
like
haptic
I
is-
didn't
yeah.
think that like specified vibration, sound, and tension on buttons would make an experience that much more immersive. But when like with those two games specifically, and I think those are like the two best games for the PlayStation to showcase that. I know Spider-Man Miles Morales has that as well, but to a lesser degree. People aren't saying it's as impactful for that game, but it still has it.
Mhm. I think haptic
but-
is honestly the next step for a lot of games, and especially VR games. I think
I
it'll
am
be
excited for it to come to a
so
VR
nice
type
VR.
system.
Yeah.
We need
But-
to have those suits like in Play Ready One.
Yep. The exosuits. Is that what
You
they're
can,
called?
yeah, you can.
Or
well,
like-
VR's got a lot of other things they got to work on before they can get to that. Like
Nobody's
yeah, I'm
gonna,
just saying,
nobody's
it-
gonna
it-
address that. Okay.
It's
What?
gonna be a huge step. I honestly didn't even think about like haptic features for controllers at all. But now that I think about it, like it can totally work.
I mean, that's the
Yeah.
only. I think that's the only route that you can really take. Because I mean, what more can you innovate inside of a fucking the console? You know what I mean? Like, is my console gonna fucking throw me a beer whenever I'm, like, like what is it?
No, but there's a console out there that'll warm your chicken.
There's a console
There
that'll warm my
is.
chicken.
Yep.
KFC console, bro.
Just saying.
Back to the PlayStation though. It's honestly mind blowing. Like the difference from the PS4 controller with like the basic rumble features, and it still had the audio cues that would play through depending on the game and stuff. Like if you were using a flashlight in a survival horror game, you could hear the click of the flashlight and stuff like that. But this just it is actually crazy, the technological like advancement that it makes it so much more immersive. It really is, and I can talk about it all day, but it's not something that I can like give justice in words until you try it yourself. It feels next gen.
How does what's the weight like? Is it a? I
For
mean,
the
is
controller or the console?
well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how often you're fucking lifting your console up, but I'm talking about the controller. Like, how often is your?
It's probably like it's heavier for sure, but the PlayStation, a lot of the issues with the PS4 controllers and the previous ones is a lot of people felt like they were too light already.
Mhm.
This
Yeah, I feel
feels
like they're
Too
janky.
small.
Yeah.
They're too
Yeah,
small
this-
for me. I got big old gorilla hands. I can't fucking.
yeah.
play
This
with the
this is like I can do a direct side by side with them.
Yeah.
Like you can see it's got more growth to it. It's longer in like the triggers and stuff. It's it is a bit weightier. Not like it's not uncomfortably heavy.
Like how
like,
he
it's-
just
it's-
chucks the shit out of the other one.
like,
Fuck you,
fuck this thing,
PS4.
alright.
I'm done with you, bitch.
Doesn't even have haptic feedback. Fuck that thing.
Oh man.
but it's very good, and the console itself, it's fucking heavy.
Well, yeah, it looks like it's a beefy boy. That thing's a big ass
Yeah.
fucking. Did you
I
get the
wonder-
disc or
Has
discless
there
version?
been a comparison between the Xbox Series X and the PS5.
Oh yeah, no, there's comparison ones. I mean, the Xbox is just a fucking box, bro. Like that thing is
I mean-
big, man. It doesn't even fit on the screen. That's a
I thought
beefy
it'd be
boy.
Smaller than that.
No, that thing is massive. Did you get the disc version or discless version?
And that's probably easily like
Oh,
a
he can't hear
7
me.
to 10 pound console. Like it's that heavy.
What
Is that the digital or is that the disc?
What?
is that the
the
disc?
digital-
That's the disc one.
That's the disc.
Yeah, because if you do get a PS5, guys, don't get the digital unless all of your games are digital.
Right.
If
you're
you
a hard
if you
copy
get the
guy.
digital, you're not going to be able to redeem any of your like PS4 games and be able to play them without repurchasing them. You can only do that disc wise if you get the disc version.
Now, have you had any issues with? Well, I don't know if you have you gone and bought anything off of the PlayStation Store, like any games or anything like that.
I have not. I probably won't either. I didn't really buy much off of the PlayStation Store in general, just because I like to have hard copies. I'm old school like that.
Well, because there is, and I don't know if they fixed it yet. But I if you can in the next like 2 weeks before we go live to the next show, can you go and see if they have fixed this issue? So one of the things that they had a problem with is that it doesn't specify PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 4 version, and when you go
They have fixed this.
they have okay. God damn it!
At the launch, so if you buy a digital version of the game online, when you go to launch it, it has a box that pops up and it asks you which version of the game you want to play.
But is it downloading? Is it still downloading both versions?
It's either whenever you go to play it or whenever you go to download it. I do know that there is a selector for one of those.
Because one of the things that it was doing was, I know that it was making it was
both of them.
It was downloading both of them, and then it was and then it wasn't like telling you which version you purchased. So like there were some games that didn't have an upgrade version of it or whatever or something like that. I don't know, but it was some weird thing where like it was people were purchasing the PlayStation 4 version and then had to go back and repurchase the PlayStation 5 and get a refund for the PlayStation 4. It was fucking weird. But I was so I was interested if they fixed that, but
they have, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, whenever you go into the storefront now, it gives you a selection for PS4 versus PS5. That has been fixed. That's a UI thing that they added before purchases go through.
Buy PlayStation 4 games on PlayStation 5 though?
Yes, because it's still the same
fully
store.
Backwards compatible to PS4 and PS5.
Yeah.
But then could you play, like, say you buy the PlayStation 4 game, could you play that on the PS5 since it's backwards compatible?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Like you can go out, buy a PS4 disc, pop it in your PS5, gravy.
Yeah, it'll work.
Okay. I don't know what the issue was why they had a refund if they could play it.
Because they didn't want it was something they wanted the PS5. I don't know. It was something where they wanted the PS5 version, but they purchased the PS4 version. But the PS4 version that they purchased didn't come with like the upgrade to the PS5, so they had to go and buy the PS5 version.
The issue with the storefront is so if you had games on digital, on your PS4 and you wanted to be able to play them on PS5, they needed to have the option for the PS4 version to be downloaded onto the PS5, because not all games are warranted the free PS5 upgrade. There's only like a handful of games that are like, if you have the PS4 version, we're going to give you the PS5 version for free.
Didn't they have like a very specific catalog or library of it?
Yeah, it's only like 7 or 8 games total that have like that upgrade. I know Rainbow Six Siege is
Call
one
of Duty.
them.
Call of Duty was one of them.
Call of Duty is one of them.
Was one of
yeah,
them.
but so they needed to be able to have the PS4 version available on the storefronts, and whenever you would go to like buy a game on a storefront, if both versions were available, there was some issues with the UI on how it was downloading and how it was selecting those titles.
Yeah. Okay, good. Well, I'm glad they fixed it because that needed to be fixed. That was a fucking weird thing that was going on. So,
yeah.
Well, I'm happy
and
that
they fixed the save state bug as well, because I know a few consoles were like having issues with their save states not transferring over properly and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, that and they need a better compression system. I'll tell you that. Like, but this is both consoles. They need a better compression system. But I think Xbox will allow you. In fact, I know Xbox allows you to just jack in a hard drive, no problem. PlayStation 5 does not allow you just to jack in any kind of external hard drive. Correct? Have you tried?
Warfare, compression system.
I don't own an external hard drive.
Okay, so I am like 98% sure that they do not. At least at launch, I know they did not. Now, maybe they fixed it since, but the issue is that it would not, or if it would, it wouldn't let you launch the game off the external hard drive or something like that. There was some weird thing with PlayStation that it just did not like external hard drives. But they need both consoles need a better fucking compression system for their games, because yeah, Call of Duty is 200 and some odd gigs. Like,
and every update's like another 50.
Like, it's fucking ridiculous. The actual end game of Modern Warfare, like with Warzone and everything, capped out at 786 gigs. 786. It's almost a terabyte of fucking data for one game. Like, that's insane. Like, and you can't.
You 50s.
Yeah, you can't even like parse that shit out. Like it's, I mean, you can now with like Warzone, but like anyway, it's crazy. But they need a better compression system.
So from what I'm looking at, it's any storage device that's 5 gigabytes per second or faster.
Will it let you play the game off of that, or will it let you just download the game?
It will not let you play off of the external.
Yeah, so
you can use it for storage, but you cannot play it directly.
Yeah,
off
so
of
so Xbox will launch and run off of that external hard drive, which is, you know,
from what I'm seeing here anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know specifics because I haven't tested it, obviously.
Well, go buy a fucking go buy a hard drive. Do the investigation. But yeah, so well, that's good. I'm glad you got one. I mean, and you know, because
it's super quiet too. Like the console, as goofy looking as some of the people maybe, it's made specifically with airflow. Well,
Give it a year or two. Give it a year or two. We'll see then.
Dude, it was crazy. I was installing a bunch of like my old PS4 games and stuff to play and like test like the load times and stuff with the SSD, and some of those installs, the noises it made depending on what game was installing was wild. Like I put in Bloodborne, okay? Quiet as could be, just no problem. I go to put in Spyro, and it sounds like a fucking weed eater is going off in my living room.
Spyro's it's a big game, bro. It's a beefy boy. It takes a lot.
So one thing I did want to ask is like with you having a PlayStation 5 now, have you been hearing anything about like Sony's inability to stock the console? Because from what I've been reading recently, apparently they've had like one of their worst years ever with selling consoles.
I know exactly what article you're saying, and yeah, that's a massive issue.
It's like they sold 1 million consoles, including PS4s and PS5s.
Whoa, including PS4s?
Including PS4s and PS5s.
It's just not available for whatever. Like you can,
and I'm sure a lot of that is COVID. Right?
Well, let's be fair. Neither are 3090s, 3080s, 3070s, any graphics card, a hard drive. I mean, fuck.
Yeah, I feel like COVID's slowing all of that down significantly, and yeah, it's gonna hurt your sales when like there's a massive supply or a massive demand and no supply. Like you can go, there's not a storefront in the US right now unless you walk into a store and get lucky and have a used one sitting on a shelf somewhere.
Well, I mean,
somebody hasn't picked up.
I mean, I haven't seen one since launch. I walked into Walmart and there was one fucking sitting in the cabinet. I could have bought one, and I should have bought it and sold it for fucking and flipped it, but or at least given it to Bill. That's what I should have done. But
could have flipped it on Bill.
Yeah, Bill, I'll charge you $700.
I know that even in Japan, there's just not enough supply for the demand. That's the article specifically said this has been the worst console year for Sony with specific.
Well, and Microsoft's still in that same boat too. Microsoft is not immune to that. They're still in the same boat. Like I don't think they've had consoles out since or at least Series X's. I don't think they're getting a reshipment, and I think they said until March is when, or April.
Xbox isn't, there's not as much demand for Xboxes from what, because I've been following them both.
Yeah.
Whenever Target was doing the re-ups for the PlayStations, they tended to do the re-ups for the Xboxes either before or after.
Well, there was
PlayStations were selling out within like 15 minutes. The Xboxes were sitting like, I could have bought one like 2 hours after they went live. They're still selling out, but it's taking longer.
There was a rumor, and I don't know, I've not validated whether it's true or not, but there's a rumor that's going around that says that if you are wanting an Xbox Series X and you can't get your hands on one, which obviously no one can right now, that they were giving away a subscription base to their xCloud or whatever else, which I've heard sucks. But that was kind of their solution, was like, hey, you can still play games anywhere, like, and play these games. I've got to go and check my source on that to see if that's actually still accurate. But
if that is accurate, I think it just further points out in a direction.
They don't give a fuck.
Microsoft is just like, fuck it.
They don't.
Whatever.
Yeah, they don't care about consoles. Mm-hmm. They don't give a shit about it. Consoles makes up a very, very small portion of where Microsoft makes their money. So, But
Yeah, the lack of supply is hurting Sony a lot more.
I just thought that was interesting. I was reading it. I didn't know it was the Japanese brand. That's extremely interesting to me, considering.
Yeah, they
that's
I'm
their
saying,
home.
they are sold out on every single market.
Yeah.
Asian market, EU market, North American market.
Yeah.
Like
it's
it
crazy
is
that they
all-
only sold a
there's
million.
not a
That's
console
nuts.
available, but because there's no consoles available, like yeah, they're selling, but it's not profitable.
I mean,
I'm
just
sorry. I'm going to have to amend my statement. It's not their worst year ever. It's their worst year since 1994.
well, okay. I mean, that's
a while ago.
That's forever
But-
in
But
internet
yeah,
world.
Sony only selling 1 million consoles. in
That's
Japan,
nuts, dude.
including PlayStation 5s and PlayStation. That's insane. to me.
That is
Like, holy
crazy.
fuck.
And to be fair, Microsoft sold, because of their naming, they sold a shit ton of old consoles because everyone was like, oh yeah, I'm getting the new stuff.
True.
Now you're getting the old fucking version.
Wasn't
Congratulations.
the PS4 the biggest launch Sony's ever had, or was that
Yeah.
the PS?
No, I think it's PS4.
It
dude.
was,
I think it was the
PS4 was the best. Yeah, they've
Yeah.
only went up as far as their like initial sales have gone until this instance, just
Yeah.
because there's no. I don't know if this console would have kept up with that, but we'll never know because they just don't have
It's
the
so botched
production.
this year. Yeah.
So we're getting to the end. Just as a reminder, guys, coming up to where we're going to open it up to you guys for questions. So make sure you get your questions ready for the end of the show. We had a section here that I think we're going to cut out. It was talking about upcoming games that we're excited about. And I think we'll wait for a little bit later on in the year to kind of talk about.
It's
some of
honestly
it.
too early. Like,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
mean, there's some stuff. I will say,
I've got
you're not going to get that this
I
year.
mean, I've got
that's
some, but
that's a
like
fairy tale. It's never.
we
coming
can
out.
build it up.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I mean, I am excited about Outriders. Outriders is coming. I'm temperedly excited. I'm watching it closely. I don't trust Square Enix because of Marvel, but
Yeah.
Outriders is looking interesting. But it is
Speaking of Square Enix,
it's a $60 price tag.
Sorry to interrupt. Final Fantasy 16 seems like it's going to be very, very good as well.
I don't.
forgot
Is that
about
is
that,
that
actually.
coming out this year though?
I don't think that's.
I don't think
that's
it's
coming
gonna
out
be.
2021.
I would
thought
doubt
it
that
was
it's gonna be.
2022.
That's gonna be
It
this
might be a
year.
2022.
Yeah, I
If y'all were
doubt.
saying the
Oh,
game, I would say Avowed for me.
I was about to say, didn't we say we were canceling?
Yeah, you're not.
I'm gonna say Avowed.
You're not gonna get that either until 2022. So
I had another
Yeah.
one, but it's a 2022 as well.
if you say
Well,
Elden Ring, you're crazy. It's-
Allegedly
No, it's not. It's
Avowed in
something that
2021.
they just announced like a few weeks ago
Allegedly.
that like blew my mind. But we can save it for next show if you
no,
want.
what you've already talked
I'm
about now.
What is the
curious.
fuck
You can't
out?
just
Jesus.
like blue ball us. Like
So it's called the Callisto Protocol. It's from the original
Oh, I think I've heard
creator
of
and
this.
developer of Dead Space 1.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it
I've seen
has
that.
that very like a very Dead Space feel to it. In the trailer, there's a bunch of like Easter eggs hidden throughout it for the Dead Space franchise. So they're really like marketing to people who liked Dead Space 1 and 2 and thought Dead Space 3 is a big pile of hot shit. So if
Ashes
that and Resident Evil 4 were my two favorite horror games of all time for a very long time.
so,
and
are you
I'm
excited for what's it called? Village? Is that the new
Village
one?
looks like it's
Resident
going to be
Evil.
good too. And
That's
I'm
the
also excited. I hear
21st.
Resident Evil 4 remake is coming out.
21st,
Ooh,
we're supposed to
yeah.
have a guided tour of Resident Evil Village.
It's all
Yeah,
very
4
good. I think this
was
is going to
probably
be a
my
good year
favorite
for
too.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, well, since we were gonna skip that, but we kind of didn't. But we'll go into it. We did-
We could have gone in way more depth.
Yeah, there's a lot more.
It's
We are gonna
really at the same time.
gonna either get Pantheon or Ashes of Creation early access at some point this
Okay,
year. So,
okay, we're done. No, I'm kidding.
So moving
Elden
on,
Ring!
moving on. You're never gonna get that, bro. That is a myth.
Fucking unicorn. Dude.
So games we've been playing. I do want to hit this, and because actually, surprisingly enough, I think we've all been playing some newer stuff. I know, Bill, you've been playing Demon
I
Souls.
do want to cover our next one too. So
Yep,
if we need to go a little bit longer.
Yep, we can do that for sure. But if I can start, there's
Yeah, have it.
I've jumped back into 2 games that I am really enjoying. One of which I actually just picked up last night and started really kind of getting into and really enjoying. And Enigma is now playing. We've got some members of the community playing Plagued and Jarvis. Is a game called Scum. And so
I am God.
yes,
I'm
Enigma
surprised
is
you
Jesus.
got into that, man.
So
For as much
So
as
was
you
I.
said you weren't,
Yeah.
so here's same, right? Like and to be fair, Scum when it first launched was dog shit. Like
It was horrible.
it was
Yeah.
really fucking bad. And it launched in
Bug-ridden and had
2018.
a lot of hackers.
And what Scum is a it's like a DayZ style it's not really Rust. Rust is fucking cartoony and
It's a survival game.
yeah, it's a survival
ish.
Yep. There's puppets which are zombies. And there are mechs and there's humans. But the thing about this game that it does like it's complicated, but it's not. Like I don't know how to say it. Like there is when you open up the fucking
You can min max if you want.
yeah, when you open up your character profile, right? It slams you with like biometrics. I mean, I'm talking like heart rate monitor, metabolism, heat, breathing, weight limit. I mean, like vitamin A, every vitamin you can think of. You gotta like your colon, you gotta shit, you gotta piss, you gotta make sure you're eating the right sugars and like all of this stuff, right? And it looks literally overwhelming. And in fact, Bill looked at it and was like, I think he said like, this is too complicated. Like it is too much.
It's like dietitian.
I
survival
popped in
game.
last night and you were in a dark ass room. I couldn't see your character, couldn't see anything in the environment. I just know you were shuffling over to stuff and looting, and then you opened up the menu. And I was like, "Fuck!"
Yeah, it looks like it's
like
very
DayZ
complicated.
mod, like OG DayZ mod on like crack.
But it actually is. It's not as complicated as what it seems. Like if you just think about it in a realistic standpoint of like, okay, cool. If I eat a bunch of bread, I have to shit. If I drink a bunch of water, I have to piss, right? I can't just eat all sugar. I have to make sure that I eat, a balanced meal, right?
Are you going like on a plant-based diet in that game, Sin?
No, I'm not going on a plant-based
You
diet.
technically could.
I mean, I could, but
You
no, I need to
technically could,
survive
actually.
for right now.
Yeah,
I
you
need to
could.
survive.
Well, you should, bro.
Yeah, no, I need to survive right now.
That would be fucking annoying, but
yeah.
yeah, definitely you could.
But
little side note, I'm on a half plant-based diet now.
hey, there we go. What does that mean? You're eating half a corn on the cob?
So I've got on the Soylent train, and I drink Soylent during my work shifts. That's the only thing that I eat during work because I was eating a bunch of garbage stuff because it was.
Are
convenient at
you,
work, so-
just a complete side note to the side note, make sure that you are supplementing vitamins like heavily with
I
that.
like it's only the Soylent's only 40% of my like daily intake,
You
so
you
I'm
still-
supplementing like
yeah.
everything else I eat is balancing that
Yeah,
out.
just make sure that you're if you go to more like even with 40% you need to supplement like but even like on a vegan diet like you still or high vegetable diet you still have to supplement. Welcome to the PrePatch podcast. Well, it's now a nutritional podcast. But anyway, Scum, it's really cool. And what I like about it versus like things like DayZ is there's some jank there, but I think that it handles a lot of stuff really well. And like their combat system, I like. The feel of the game I like. It's I haven't played DayZ mod or DayZ standalone in a long time, and I know Enigma and I were kind of looking at getting back into that, or Enigma wants to get back into that as well. But like games like Rust, which is very cartoony and dives into the depths of human like nature way too much than what I want to ever get into, and games like Hurt World or DayZ, like this leans in more the side of like the DayZ like Arma side of things than it does the Rust.
I
side
say
of
it's pretty
things.
close to what Dead Side is too.
Yeah, I was interested in Dead Side. Yes, don't forget the graphics. Jesus Christ, it's got very beautiful graphics. God, graphics aren't everything. Played, get over it. Sorry, Dead Side. I mean, so you've played Dead Side, so like Dead Side is another one that I'm actually really interested in trying out and seeing.
It's been getting some good updates to it.
There was a funny thing that he said, like this, like 2020 going into 2021 has been the year that Sin put his foot in his mouth more times than ever.
I never said anything bad about Scum or survival games. I just didn't like Don't Starve Together. That game
I'm pretty
sucks
sure
dick.
his exact words, well, not exact, but paraphrased words for Dead Side were, "This looks like a Russian knockoff piece of shit of DayZ."
You did say something close to that. I remember.
Bro, I'm gonna go back and look at those podcasts because I don't think I said that.
You said something.
I don't think I
along
said
those
it.
lines.
I do think it looks like a knockoff of DayZ. And I think that
thing
they.
I've-
Every survival game can be said like that.
The only thing I know about Deadside is I know a few people that have played it and stuff, and it seems good. There's just a lot of open area with nothing really to do in it.
It's
lacking
super early
content
access.
a
Yeah.
little.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I've seen they've been pushing out some good updates for it.
Honestly, though, like again, and I hate to sound like that kind of guy, but like any survival game that's released in like the past 6 years has been like that. Like DayZ was a walking simulator. It would take
standalone
you
for
2
sure.
hours to get from one side of the fucking map to the other,
yeah.
and you would barely see anything.
Yeah.
Right, just trees, rocks, and grass.
Yeah.
And I mean, and you know, I think like that's one of the things about Scum too is that the developers have stayed on this game to concept it because they could have definitely just dropped this game. Like I've played like Infection Z and all this other kind of stuff, and you know, if you go through Enigma's fucking list of like games he's played with survival categories, it's pretty much every fucking thing on Steam. Like he can attest to the fact that like most of these developers just throw this shit out there and just let it die. Like they don't ever do anything fucking with it.
Warzy started it, and then it's just progressively got worse.
Warzy had like 3 different games of the same game.
Yeah, it was bad. So, and then the other game that I'm playing is Dead by Daylight. I've gotten fully back into Dead by Daylight. And actually just I watched a lot of the PTB. Have you seen Bill what they're doing with the clown rework and the UI rework and all that kind of stuff?
I've seen the UI rework. I haven't seen the clan rework.
What's your thoughts on the UI rework?
I'm a
I
beerby.
like it.
You like it?
Yeah, I'm a fan.
I don't
think
I just don't like the characters being up top. I don't know what it is about it being up in that left-hand corner. I just don't like I would rather than be back down below because your entire sight line is all down there, right? I just wish it was back down below. Like
yeah, I get that. But also I guess from my perspective, most UI elements, if they're going to be localized, are going to be top left or bottom left. So I'm fine with either of those being a thing. Like as far as your like major HUD elements. So.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not really too big of a deal. I mean, because what they've done, and I do like the fact that they have made the pictures of the actual survivors versus just like little ambiguous white characters, like or whatever else.
That way, you actually know specifically who's being chased or hurt or anything like that.
Right.
Same.
I really, really like that. I think that's really cool. And
because it's easier for at a glance.
Yeah.
Instead of like having to read the name and then in your head being like, okay, Smitty Werben Jaegerman Jensen was playing Meg this time. So.
Right.
No, Smitty.
Are we
Smitty's
still
my boy,
talking
bro.
about
Smitty's my
Dead
boy,
for
bro.
Daylight?
Oh my god! Just because you don't play the game doesn't mean it's not a good
I'm
game.
kidding.
But also too, I like the fact that they have made it so it's a lot easier to know when someone is going from the stages for hooking. It's not just like the bar, like it's actually the pips, which are really good. I think that's really smooth. And not that I like this I hate the fucking Gideon what is it called? You know what I'm talking about, the Saw map.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that map, but it looks good. It looks really pretty with the update that they did to it.
They've nailed every single one of the visual reworks that they've done for these maps. I think they're all.
And the carnival looks carnival looks so good.
The snow map, I can't remember what it's called, but like with the it's got like the gondola system like off to the side and like flapping and
yeah, it's really good.
The cabin house.
It's got flapping.
The gondola. It flaps.
It flaps.
You're muted. I'm muting you. You're muted.
What? Hello? The flaps?
But so the biggest update that's coming is Clown is getting a whole rework, and his whole thing now is like he has 2 toxins that he can throw. One of which is just his base toxin, like he always has. So it does the slowdown, the blind, and the kind of blur and coughing effect for survivors. And the other one is an activated one, and it's yellow. And so you throw it and it starts off gray, and then it will activate after a 3-second time, or I think you yourself can activate it. I think, but in any case, if anybody that walks through it will get a speed buff of 10%, with it. So survivors and
they're actually giving him chaseability now.
Yes,
he's actually got a way to catch people.
Yep, survivors and killers both will have the ability to get a speed buff. with it. So it's a cool concept. It's really really cool. And they down the reload speed because his reload speed was fucking atrocious. Like it took so fucking long, especially in the middle of a chase. Like it took so.
I don't even think
long.
they needed to like. I don't think a speed up was needed on like the reload itself. I just think they needed to make it so he could walk a normal speed while reloading.
Well, I mean, I think it's either. Yeah, I mean, either way, whether you make it so it's a shorter cooldown or you make him walk at normal speed with it.
I would have preferred the walk normal speed. That way he can reload mid chase and not be like completely gimped. Like once he runs out of bottles, he has to stop.
Yeah, but if you activate with the yellow toxin, right? Like you're gonna get that, and what it does now is it makes you think it's a killer. Like, how am I going to position these? Because obviously, too, like you could speed the fuck up out of the survivors, right? But what I was watching, and it was very intelligent, it was very smart, was this guy threw the speed up toxin at basically a loop, and so as the survivor went around the loop, he actually missed the fucking pallet because he sped up and wasn't thinking about it, and so he missed the pallet. And I was like, oh, that's really intelligent. Like that was a really smart maneuver to do, or whatever. But it's cool. But Dead by Daylight, I don't know. We've played it, we've seen it, we've done it. It's a really cool game. So that's what I'm playing. Moving on. What have you guys been playing?
Cool, nice. I started playing Raft, actually. That's a game I wasn't ever really planning on getting into until like I started noticing that they've been pushing out some actual like good updates. Kind of like how what Forest
came
did.
out. That game was super simple.
Yeah, right. That's all I thought it was. Like you load into the game, you survive on a raft, you hook stuff onto your boat, and you just kind of expand a little raft, and that was it. But they kind of went down the road of like what Forest has started doing, like actually implementing story like things, little lore pieces you can find, little like POIs and stuff like that. So I've actually been a lot more interested in playing it a little bit here, and it's actually a lot of fun. I
Can you go to islands and stuff on that?
yeah, there's little islands. I've only experienced like little islands so far for harvesting materials and finding like I found like an underwater cave in one of them, which is really cool to find. But then supposedly there's like actual big islands where you can like look for treasure and like dig up stuff and like all that sort of stuff. And then I've heard there's like a yacht or like some stuff like that, like yachts you can find, or like even like a little city or something too.
What is the survival aspect of it? So like, I mean,
the survival aspect is just like
survive on a raft.
Literally survive on a raft. The biggest thing is like at the start of it is like hunger and thirst.
Is it anything other than you versus the environment? Like, is there other? I know there's not other players, but is it like
sharks? There's the main like kind of thing right now that's like hunting you is like this shark that's just constantly kind of like trying to get at you, bite your raft and everything. There is more I think later on, but I still haven't really experienced that.
Like, are there like
threats on the islands?
Yeah, I was like, are there pirates?
Yeah, I don't know about that one yet. There might be, but I'm not sure.
They should do a crossover with Sea of Thieves and like you build your raft and fucking like I don't know.
Yeah,
you take over someone's boat.
Cool. I hope it kind of does something like what Subnautica does too, with like the Leviathan and stuff like that. I think that's really cool. I think if they did something like that.
Nope. I'm good.
But it's actually a lot of fun. I've been enjoying it, and it's not like too big of a grind. Like kind of where we're at right now is a little bit, but like it's not too bad. It's still kind of enjoyable. Like I get a lot like I just enjoy actually like hooking the stuff in the sea and pulling it in. To me, that's just like relaxing. I'm like, this is nice.
Yeah, man.
So,
is there storms and stuff like that? Like, is there?
There is storms, and the waves are actually brutal. They actually give you a little bit of motion sickness. I think you can tone that down. I think there's an option to, but like for some odd reason, I'm like, I kind of like it. Like this is like I'm on a raft right now, surviving from a storm.
I want like, is it as good as Sea of Thieves as water? Because Sea of Thieves to me did like the fucking has nailed water to a T. Like,
yeah, but no, like it's good, but like there's a few instances where it's not. Like I've docked myself on an island before, and when the water starts picking up and you're like up against an island, you'll start kind of glitching and stuff. A little bit the stuff you drop on your raft too, which it might be a feature, so you can't just like drop stuff. You actually have to make storage, but like it'll eventually fall off from like waves and stuff, but I think that's a feature. So like it's not bad, but it still works pretty well. I'd say it's just a little bit below Sea of Thieves. It's like physics, water physics.
Okay. You're also playing Overcooked, yeah? Overcooked 2?
Yeah, we got into that just a little bit. I played it for the first time for a while that night. And you know, as much as
Those
like
games
I
are
was
just a mindless
warned,
good time.
yeah, like as much as I was warned
not
that I was gonna be
mindless, but-
stressing out like the entire time, like going crazy, I was, but like I was also having like a really good time, and it was like a really good stress. But I was more of just like zoning out, like in my head, like picturing like all the paths I have to take to do all these little things. So it was a good time, especially like a great time. We had like a full team of it playing it, so it was just chaotic.
That game is an
awesomeness.
ass kicker if you're playing by yourself or with a 2-person team. It fucking is rough.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't think it's a game I want to play by myself. I watched like I watched this dude who was playing it by himself, and he was doing it like he's a professional at the game. I don't know how he does it, but he was managing, you know, his two little guys, just zoning back and forth, sending one guy to do one thing, throwing it to the other guy doing that thing while he's all doing. I'm like, nope, that's too much brain power.
that's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
And then
but
also,
yeah, another really fun game.
then you're also,
I've been back on that Overwatch kick.
yeah, Overwatch.
Yeah, I mean, I do that from time to time, and that's just when I have an itch to you
To
know,
play a
do
crappy
my
game,
Hanzo
got it.
stuff.
With a spud.
You know what? That's a very funny thing you say that, because I actually contemplated downloading it today. You know what I downloaded instead?
What'd you download instead?
EFT.
That's a better game. That's a way better game. Like you,
I'm not gonna
like,
say it's
a way better
game,
game.
but I'm just
You're
gonna
crazy.
say, like, I had a choice, and I went with EFT just because it just wiped. But I might get into
Bro,
some
if
R6 for a
it
little
will
bit.
keep you off of Rainbow Six Siege, just tell me the word. I'll go download EFT. I'll download EFT right now. In fact, I will download EFT and buy Enigma a copy of EFT if it will keep you off of it.
I mean,
Same
I
for
don't
you,
have a
Bill.
problem
If
being
it will
off of
keep you
R6.
off of Rainbow Six, I will buy
I just gotta be in the mood to play
EFT.
R6.
EFT.
there you
Escape
go.
from Tarkov.
Escape from Tarkov.
Oh yeah.
And we did a bunch of hatchet runs, and
We've been
we had a
talking
really
about
bad
that.
time.
We need to,
Yeah.
dude. The whole crew can go play EFT. Like, let's go. Let's do a pre-patch.
Yeah,
Pre-patch
it's a
run.
good time. It
can
it's
be
a
a
game
good
I
time.
like jumping in solo, but then like there's the instances where like going in it with a team, it's just a different kind of like fun, because when you're in a team, you're like, oh shit, like I don't want to fucking step out of line or like shoot Sin in the head by accident. You know,
I don't
like
think we
that
ever.
one.
But I remember you shot Sin in the head. No one.
Well, that was on purpose. There's the difference.
Jesus Christ.
I think that was the last time you guys played EFT together too.
Yeah, probably.
I would play EFT again. They just did their wipe, so
They just that's why I downloaded it.
I'd play EFT again. Bill, what are you been up to?
So I got the PS5 obviously, so I've been playing a lot of Demon Souls. Went through my first run of it over the last week, and am currently starting up the no death runs with it. I'm doing
It's your
like
Immortal run, yeah?
Yeah, the Soulsborne Immortal run.
Just
all
don't die.
all of the the souls.
Just don't die.
He seems to really love that term.
That
No,
video
Siri,
was
I did
really
not
cool,
ask
though.
your opinion of anything. Go away.
Shout outs to that video you made, Bill. I love
Thanks,
that.
man.
That whole idea was sweet.
But
I wish you would have used my pirate voice.
Did you
just
do
don't
it?
die.
Laddie.
Enigma sent me an entire bloopers reel of just ridiculous shit to make
It
me
was
laugh.
bad.
So I
It was
appreciated
pretty
that
bad.
about him.
Funny. That's awesome.
But yeah, I'm doing the Soulsborne Immortal run, Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, and Bloodborne all in a row without dying. If I die in one, the run resets. Got to start all 5 of the games over again.
How long do you
I'm
think this is
actually-
going to take you? Can you guess? Can you put an estimate?
Well, I'm already almost done with Demon Souls No Death.
That's
so
what I was
that-
about to say. It's like I'm actually really surprised at how easy Demon Souls seems. Like in comparison to like.
Well, have you only been watching Bill and experienced
Yeah, but
player
what
who's
I'm saying-
dominated games and
But what I'm saying is like Bill has played a shit ton of fucking
Yeah.
Demon Soul or Souls like games, right? But every time he goes back and plays them, he still has fucking issues with them. But he's been like breezing through Demon Souls. So it looks.
Well,
it
what
only-
do you
literally-
say about Demon Souls,
I've only
Bill?
ripped the run once so far. The very first run that I went to do, I ripped it.
And you got to go all the way back to the very beginning, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah,
were
yeah.
only at the beginning of Demon Souls.
Yeah,
right?
I just started at that one. I was only like in the like
Oh, just
first
wait till
area.
you're.
Which one of
Well,
those are you the most concerned about doing?
yeah.
Dark Souls 2 and Bloodborne.
Yeah,
Those are the two
Bloodborne can kick your ass. Are you doing full Bloodborne DLC and everything? Or are you just doing?
No, they're all any percents. So
Okay.
Bloodborne. The only reason I'm concerned about that one is just because there is some like there's a lot of unpredictability with the way the AI is in that game. It can just, if it decides it wants to poop on you, it's gonna poop on
Dude,
you.
I'm gonna tell you right now, there ain't no way. I'd fucking destroy my room.
Yeah, I don't know how you
If
do
I got
it.
to like toward like if I got through Demon Souls, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 1, and then like just got into Dark Souls 2 and just fucked up somehow and like slipped up and fell, so I'd be like, fuck it, that's it. Nope.
I have literally only played one Dark Souls, and I think it was Dark Souls 1. I think, or no, it might have been 2, maybe 3. I can't remember which one it was, but like
Just
literally,
one of them.
literally. Although this is you'll see why. Literally, I got to the first boss, got stomped like 80 times, and said, "Fuck this game, I'm done."
It's probably 3. It was either 1 or 3. Because
It was like this dude, like you popped through a door and then you fell down, and it was like this giant guy with like a weird
Okay,
looking
that was
arm
1.
and a fucking
Yeah.
scythe or some shit.
What
And
is
I could not figure it out, and like after like the 8th or 9th attempt, I was just like, nope, I'm good.
without
I'm not a Souls player apparently.
without using hacks or anything like that? What's the world record for this run? Do you know?
For the run I'm doing.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't know.
This is just an independent run that I'm doing. I don't think anybody's specifically done this. I know the closest thing was a no-hit variant of this run that was done over, I think it was like 16 hours.
I think there has been a run that's been like I don't know.
Like, do you know? Have you watched that no hit run? Did he like use a different way of fighting or like ranged or
I'm pretty well using the no hit run strats. The only difference is I'm leveling health and I'm not using
what are
like
those like strats?
It's just like optimal ways of like min maxing to get you like strong weapons early, the best build routes to go to maximize damage. Like with Demon Souls, you can get a maxed out weapon within the first like area and a half. That's why this game has been a lot easier, because it's not necessarily the enemies that I'm concerned about at this point. It's more the environmental stuff.
So, question: whenever you inevitably beat this, like, are you then gonna do a level 1 immortal run, like never leveling your character?
Either level 1 no deaths, or I'm gonna try no hits.
You must really. Do you hate yourself? Is it okay? Are you okay? Like,
that's the question we have to ask you.
I love this shit, man. I'm very passionate about these franchises, like From Software Souls games specifically. I just find them a lot of fun, and I like the challenge of it. It's not something that ever like truly like.
This is what Bill gets off to, man.
Apparently, man, you're like.
I've only been frustrated once to these games, and that was
You let me know that whenever you get to fucking Demon Souls 3 and you fucking die and have to go all the way back to redo all this shit.
The 4 days I spent on the Blue Smelter Demon in the Dark Souls 2 level 1 run was probably the most frustrated I've ever been with these games. But yeah, I don't know what it is, man. I'm just a big fan.
Yeah, I mean,
have you ever done a no death run with Sekiro?
With Sekiro, no.
I remember that.
I've actually tried the no-hit route, like only perfect deflections and stuff like that. And I got about almost halfway through that game with only perfect deflections. So I think I could do a no-death run. I'm just not putting it in the list because I don't classify it as
it's not
specifically.
Yeah. Okay. Well, cool.
But other than that, I've been playing Rainbow Six Siege.
Again, another game you must really hate yourself. I don't understand.
I've been playing Rainbow Six Siege. I've been playing a little bit of Smite, actually. That's a MOBA that I've been enjoying. Some of the people in my community got me into that one, and I'm actually like, I've learned a lot about it, so I'm not as dog shit as I used to be. And I'm playing Dead by Daylight still as well. We've actually thrown that onto the rotation, so we're rotating community night. 1 week's Rainbow Six Siege, next week's Dead by Daylight, and we are just swapping back and forth on those.
Nice. We're getting a new killer, and this is the mid patch. Next patch, we're getting a new killer. And the thoughts is it's Chucky, which will be interesting.
Fuck that.
They've already got a small little asshole running around. We don't need 2 of them.
Yes, we do.
That shit.
Enigma is
And
not never touching that game.
I'm looking at. You were asking me about the no-hit run thing. It looks like it is. It's just over 16 hours. He did it all in one sitting. So that's like,
Damn.
quote unquote, the record for.
Fucking, you Souls like players must really have
Well,
self-esteem issues or hate yourself or something.
The way this guy did it was he does bets with his chat for these kinds of like big challenges.
Oh, that's even better.
And
add in chat. That sounds like a great idea.
The bet was if he didn't get it by the time Sekiro came out, he was going to get a tattoo. He was gonna like throw a bunch of tattoo options to the chat, and they were gonna vote on which
They
one that
absolutely hate themselves. Absolutely.
He did the run the night before Sekiro came out. That's why he went. He was like, I'm doing one more run. If this rips, we're just gonna accept our loss, and I'll get the tattoo ideas ready. But yeah,
all right, you
16 hours the day before Sekiro came out.
You heard it, Sunsprite Bay. Start getting that tattoo. Start getting your art ready.
What kind of tattoo do you want, though?
I'm actually like, she's actually no jokes. She's designing a Soulsborne tattoo for me as we speak. I don't know when I'm gonna get it, but it is in the works.
So if you fail at something, do we get to get like do we get to place it? Like, do we get to tell you where it's gonna get placed at?
If those games kick your ass, they're literally gonna kick your ass.
I don't mean to derail, but can I just say as well that the new avatar or whatever, the new icon that she made you looks fucking amazing.
Yeah. You like the new logo for
I love the eye.
Good.
It looks good.
Literally, the eye is in the eye.
She was really concerned whether that idea was gonna take or not, but
bro, it looks so fucking amazing.
Everybody has noticed and recognized what she was doing there with the dot of the eye being in the eye of the squid.
Have you seen it, Sin?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Bro, it looks so good, dude.
It's really, really good. Guys, just because I'm not on fucking Twitch anymore doesn't mean I neglect you people. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, I still...
Bro, I haven't seen you for a month and a half, man. Like,
that's your fault, not mine. That's your fault, not mine.
Speaking of which, Enigma, what have you been playing recently?
Cyberpunk. and now recently Scum.
Yeah, it's about it.
But the biggest thing with you playing is you actually got one of the like the adjustable standing desks with like the motor and stuff.
Yeah. I mean that was for Christmas. I've been talking about that for a while now, that I wanted to get one to try and help with my back and stuff, and it's really nice. I like it. I dig it. It's allowed me to kind of I've been standing and sitting the entire time during this entire podcast, and I would have never been able to do that.
How is gaming while standing?
It's not bad. I get fatigued easily with it just because I'm not used to it. So
yeah,
build like a tolerance.
That's what I'm trying to work on, is like building a tolerance. Like my back is killing me today because I spent like 4 hours playing Scum with the boys, sitting down and standing up throughout the entire 4 hours. So
is the adjustment on it like super duper quick and easy? Like just push.
It's easy. It's not amazingly quick, but yeah, it gets up, and it's like a couple seconds.
Look, man, we can adjust it, dude. We can spring load that bitch. You just hit a button and just
your computer is up in the ceiling.
The worst one that I had the other day was I when I stand up, I push my chair underneath my desk because that's what I would do regardless, right? And it's supposed to have a feature inside of it that, like, if you push it down and it's got something under it, it stops, and it didn't. So like all of my shit like almost fell off my table. I was like, motherfucker.
Oh no.
But yeah, I've been playing, Scum. I just picked that up with Sin last night. I've been playing Cyberpunk. Obviously, I finished my first playthrough, 112 hours. I think I've got another like 16 or 20 hours into the second playthrough right now. So,
and this playthrough is going to be your 100%er, right?
Yeah, this one's my 100%er on hard mode. And like I said, like the hard mode is just, I've already gotten to a point now where I'm running a sniper, a sniper build with I don't know what the cybernetic's called, but it's like a double jump. It's like, I call it the kangaroo.
Are you doing Corpo this time?
Yeah, Corpo.
Hey, Corpo.
So you just rise to the top.
Yeah,
of, like,
I
a
just
good
find
vantage
like a huge fucking vantage point and then snipe them through a fucking wall, and they're like, "What's going on? What's going?" Because this fucking AI is stupid, and they're just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard Corpo is actually a really fun path.
It's cool.
I don't know.
like
I haven't seen too much of it so far. I'm liking it, but I think my heart will always be with the original
Nomads.
playthrough that I did with
The
the
Nomad.
the Nomad. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that, I mean that's
that
definitely gonna
was-
be my first one to play the game.
that was legitimately, I think that was one of the best options or one of the best decisions that I made, because I think it epitomizes like what you should be playing Cyberpunk as, coming into the city as a brand new, member of the entire thing and everything like that. Not corporal bullshit, because corpos suck. Yeah.
I enjoy the fuck out of my Corpo. Thank you very much. So,
But yeah, I've been playing that. I picked up what was the one State of Decay 2. It was like $17. And I picked it up. I don't know. It's all right. I mean, I got like 12 hours in it, and I'm like, I guess I've played everything pretty much. But
that game could have been a lot cooler. I was hoping it was gonna be a lot cooler. Oh, I got a 3090 during the holiday break. That was great.
that he did. Yeah.
Yes,
What do
I did.
you know?
Yeah, I had to kill a bunch of people for it, but it's okay. I got it.
I'm looking forward to being able to get one someday in 2082.
Let me tell you something. That was
speaking
a fucking
of
fiasco.
which, you need to talk to me sometime about why I should do a 3060 over a 3080.
Oh, I mean,
price.
yeah, pricing.
If you,
Yeah,
if you don't have
we'll
the
talk about
money
it.
for the 3080, then the
No,
3060 is it's
I will, by the time 3080s are available, I'll have it, because
Yeah.
it's all Twitch funded. The community's funding that one.
I would personally
So-
get a 3080 over a 3060, but a 3060 is just as good as like a 2080, pretty much, from what I understand.
It's I can talk about it. We'll talk about it
Yeah.
on next week's
talk
next
about it
show.
later.
I'll talk about it next show. So real quick, want to wrap up with the touch on this last topic. Then, like I said, we're doing the questions in the show. But
This is big news, actually. Like I'm surprised that this came out.
so EA lost Star Wars exclusivity. They're now not the only ones that can produce Star Wars games, which is great. Which means that games like BioWare with SWTOR can go somewhere else. Somebody else can make an MMO for it. You've got Ubisoft is making their open world game. Yep, and then which I'm actually excited for. I think Ubisoft could do some really cool shit with, because I think Ubisoft's open world stuff. I think they do a very good job of their worlds. Like they're open. No,
Their worlds, they do a very good
That's what I'm
job
talking
with
about.
like the details.
Yeah,
For sure.
I'm not
But,
saying
like,
it's
they,
fucking
like I said in our private conversations on the podcast, I'm really worried about how grindy it's going to be if Ubisoft is doing it, because
I don't
You
mind.
don't want a break point in the.
Well, I don't want
Yeah.
Breakpoint, but like I just think they do a good job with open.
I think
open world.
recently with I think Valhalla was a fairly unique open world experience. I know Immortal Phoenix Rising was
still
very
grindy,
well
though.
received.
They
have
very grindy.
at least with Valhalla, it had its grind.
Yeah, but it I don't know. I think it could be cool.
Ubisoft kind of became, since Bethesda fell out of good graces, Ubisoft's kind of stepped in on that open world realm. So I'm confident in their ability to do an open world Star Wars justice.
I just
Speaking
don't
of
like
Bethesda as well, because
Oh,
Lucasfilms is now up there. Now Bethesda's making an Indiana Jones game.
it.
Yeah, that's just what we need.
I'm kind of interested in it. Come on, I don't know.
I would be interested in it if it wasn't, developed by Todd
Oh.
Howard.
I'd be interested in it if it
100%.
wasn't an Indiana Jones game. Like, do we really need an Indiana Jones
I don't
game?
know. I
don't
would
know.
like
I
an
think
Indiana
that's
Jones
cool.
game if they did it well. Because
We
like
haven't had
I
an
like
Indiana Jones
You liked Uncharted, right?
the other
Yeah.
day.
what's the one that Sony does?
Uncharted.
I always forget. Yeah,
Un-
Uncharted. Like everybody loves Uncharted, dude. Like
I didn't.
everybody.
I didn't.
Well, that's because you don't like half the shit that we talk about in this fucking
I,
shit.
I just don't
Same
like
thing with Tomb
Uncharted.
Raider. It's of the same vein. If they did a Tomb
Yeah.
Raider or an Uncharted style game with indie specifically, I'd be cool with that. The only thing that sticks in my mind with Indiana Jones is the old PS2 Lucas Arts games that were absolutely horrible. But then again, the old PS2 Tomb Raider games were absolutely horrible.
The old
Indiana Jones
Lucasfilms game.
Lego Indiana Jones. That was a good game.
the old Lucasfilms games were hit and miss as well. Like they made some great games, they made some shitters. Like
Well,
100%.
I'm really happy because I think we're gonna get a new SWO tour or Knights of the Old Republic. Sorry, KOTOR.
Yeah, Knights of the Old Republic.
I think that we'll get. I'm excited that we could possibly get an MMO. We already have one, but like I think that we could do another one. Like I think that
I hope we get a good one. I hope we like. I like the Old Republic, but I don't at the same time. Like I think that they need to have an actual action combat system and everything like that. I think
EA stifles a lot of shit. EA stifles a lot of stuff. So like we can get RTSs, which I cannot. I like one of my favorite RTSs is Star Wars Empire at War. That was a great RTS game. If you never played it, it's on Steam. You can get it now, but it's a great game. I really recommend going and checking it out. It's a phenomenal RTS. We haven't seen a Star Wars RTS in forever. When was the last time we saw a Star Wars shooter? Like other than Battlefront, like
bring up, I personally hope that like Battlefront 2 was
free on
good.
Epic, by the way.
Don't you
Don't even mention that here, Bill.
How are you gonna start the year off with that?
Bill, I know it's been a month, but do we need to reiterate the words that we don't say on the podcast? We don't shorten my name and we don't say fucking Epic, okay? But yeah, I'm hoping that we get another Republic Commando. That was like one of my favorite fucking shooters ever from Lucasfilms.
Yep. I think even again, like we talked about, like their open world game, like something like The Division, I would love to see like a looter, or like a fucking Star Wars Diablo style game. Yes, please. Like, give me that. I will take that in a heartbeat. Don't squint your eyes, Scruffy.
I'm just trying to think of how that would be. I don't know.
What do you mean? How would it be?
It would be Diablo, but instead of it being fire blasting out of your hand, it would be force lightning.
Hey man, I'm down. Like
only if you're a Sith though, because if you're a Jedi for some reason, you can't mystically use force.
Also, too, could you imagine
but also everybody can use force healing apparently.
Yeah.
Palpatine sat on a moon for years, force healing himself in stasis.
I will be watching Star Wars for the first time ever.
Get the fuck out of here, bro. Why do we let him on the show?
I don't know, man. He's the one that like.
You're hold on. You're muted again. You're muted.
He's the one that supports ourselves on the younger generation.
It just God. There's so much wrong in that statement. It just is insane.
Just be happy that I'm actually getting there.
Or like if something like Eve, right? Like if they did like MMO style like that would be amazing. Or like what's the fucking Elite Dangerous, like a fucking flight game like that. Oh my god, dude.
Eve, I don't think so. Eve, I think would be way too complicated.
A flight game.
They did Squadron. Which is okay.
Just like
it's not bad.
Combat.
Yeah, but it's okay. Honestly, too, like Jedi. What was it? Jedi Knight. Oh my god, that was such a good game. Oh god, it was such a good game. Anyway,
Galaxy. Yeah, Galaxy is like the epitome of the MMO for Star Wars.
You know about Star Wars Galaxies? Before SOE fucked it over, bro. Before the SOE fuck over, man. I put so much time into that game. That was my WildStar before WildStar. Ugh.
Can't go back to WildStar, bud.
Shut up.
You can't.
It's not fair. You get to play BDO and I don't get to play WildStar.
Go back.
Don't make me.
Anyway, all right, guys. Well, this is the part now where we open it up for questions, and you guys get to participate. So if you are listening to this post live, right? Whether you're on our Spotify, whether you're watching it in one of our VODs, on YouTube, wherever else, you guys can come in and tune in and be part of our live chat, whether it's here on my channel on YouTube, whether it's on Twitch with Scruffy or Bill's channel. You are able to engage and be part of the show. And this is what we do. We open it up for you guys to be able to ask questions. So, Bill, I know you have a question, I think, in your chat, and
I just noticed
there's a very important one in yours as well.
I literally just noticed, and I'm sorry, Bay. I did not realize that I remade the background for the podcast and used the old icon.
Oh shit!
Wait, what?
Scruffy's the only one.
Scruffy's the only one with the accurate icon.
Yeah, well, Scruffy didn't update us.
I will fix that post haste.
What are you talking about?
I'm sorry.
Wait, what are you talking about?
You're not using the old or the new PrePatch podcast icon. You're using the old one.
Oh no shit, I am.
Why did you guys change it?
No shit. All right. Well.
I changed it so that we could get Sin with the YouTube bullshit.
Oh,
Hey, don't call my shit bullshit. You're bullshit.
I'm sorry, it was bullshit.
Get a face, bro.
Go with these questions.
All right. So questions. Go ahead.
Question from chat is Xbox in comparison to PlayStation has been pumping out very similar consoles as they've aged. Do you think that Xbox is a dying breed, or will their community stay committed regardless of their samey consoles with similar look and play? Xbox doesn't care about the consoles. We've
already
come to
nailed
accept
that, I think.
Yeah, we've come to accept that Xbox is going a route where they just want their games available on as many things as possible. If there's a demand for consoles, they'll make a console. If there's the demand for their console disappears, they're not going to be hurting because they have it ported to everything possible through the Xbox Game Pass. So they are kind of already future-proofing themselves in that regard.
We've talked about this in the past as well. Like I still think that my opinion is that they're going to go down the route of Nintendo and just be a niche console. It's just going to be Nintendo, and then it's going to be PlayStation and Sony.
Yeah,
Sony's going to be fighting a battle against itself. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, like Bill said. I mean, the Xbox will provide a console for it to be out there, but they don't give a shit. They want to move to cloud gaming. They want to move to which is where the future is going, right? Like that is where we are heading, to being able to play our games regardless of where you're at, no matter where, with whatever console you or whatever system you want to play on. So, the Game Pass, and they are already like going to multiple companies and not pressuring them, but definitely like pursuing them to be like, hey, put your game on Game Pass. Hey, put your game on Game Pass. Hey, put your game on Game Pass. Like, and
posted something the other day about it. They're trying. They're not just trying to get like first party producers. They're trying to get all producers to get it on Game Pass, which is I think is amazing.
I mean, look, Game Pass is a brilliant idea, guys. Like, it's fucking brilliant. You know, Game Pass is very smart. I don't know how I feel about them just being like, hey, Game Pass. Oh, no Game Pass? I will just buy you. You know, I mean, I don't know how I feel about that, but, you know, it is what it is. It's capitalism. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Scruff, I don't think we had anybody in your chat. No? Okay. So one of the questions that I got was, I'm assuming you're talking about graphics on everything. There's hope for Terraria yet. No, there's not. Terraria will never be played on my channel.
Who asked that?
Stevens asked that.
Stevens.
But Stevens asked, what day will the podcast be going forward? So the standard, we had a delay right now, and we pushed it to Thursday. I can't we can't just sit here and answer that. That's a conversation we all have to have kind of collectively together, as whatnot. But as it stands right now, I would say it may be we have not firmly decided Thursday is the day going forward. So it will still be set right now as to being every other Wednesday. But if something does change, make sure that you follow us on all of our socials, on Twitter. Make sure you follow us if you're in our Discords, things like that, because that's where we're going to post and let you guys know. But it's all over our socials. It's all over the Discords. It's over the PrePatch social over on Twitter. And you will know for sure what day it is. But as of right now, nothing has changed. It's just this got moved because of issues that we had last week. So
right.
So yeah, there. All right, guys. I think that's it.
That wraps her up.
That wraps the show up, guys. Thank you so much for being here for the first show of 2021. Damn it, I hope you guys enjoyed it. We gave you a great show. We've still got some new exciting stuff to come. Still working on new formats. Still working on getting the email open so you guys will be able to email conversation pieces into that. What's up?
Email open.
Okay, we'll plug the email. Fucker.
What's the email?
PrePatchTeam@gmail.com.
All right, well, there you go. So send all your nudes to PrePatchTeam@gmail.com.
Sign me up for some good, hentai. It'd be great. I'm a lonely man.
You can find it on Twitch. Don't worry. Anyway, but anyway, guys, again, thank you so much. Episode 26 has been amazing, and so happy to be back in the swing of things. We miss doing this, but obviously everybody needs to take a break for the holidays. I cannot wait, and I speak for the entire team. We cannot wait for 2 weeks from now to do the next show. And guys, we will see you later. Bye.
Bye.